are Funk Motorsport, your heat management specialists. Based in the UK, we strive for perfection, developing thermal products trusted by professional race teams and drivers worldwide. Performance, protection, reliability.
Tarmac Sports.
Hello and welcome to Three Sisters for the 5th round of the British Drift Championship 2019. In the tower today you've got me, Sarah Hall, and my awesome co-host and drift guru, Ian Waddington. Ian, what a season it's been so far.
Well, it's definitely been the championship that we hoped it would be for 2019, and wow, what a story we've had. Just going back to NEC, Josh King getting back on that top step of the podium after winning round one here in 2019. And this event, Sarah, last year he won it. He took away top step on the podium. So a man that's feeling confident this weekend is Josh King. But listen, you can't take it all. We can't give it all, to Josh King. We need to look at the rest of the guys sitting in that top three of the championship that could take the championship away potentially this weekend. Obviously, we've got Louis Edwards and we've got Martin Cowley. Just 5 points separating those guys, Sarah. It's very close at the top. And this weekend, it all matters.
Everything counts this weekend, doesn't it? I mean, 5 points between the top three. It's quite unbelievable, really. We've got to round 5 and we've got 5 points between them. It's all to play for, isn't it?
It certainly is, and that's what we want. We want drama, we want fireworks, we want it all the way up to the final round in Buxton in just a couple of weeks' time. And we're certainly going to get it this weekend.
We are definitely going to get it. If the rest of the championship has been anything to go by, this weekend is going to be absolutely action-packed. I mean, Three Sisters, my first time here. I'm loving it so far. This track is so tight and technical. I went out yesterday in Calfraska, actually, which was a pretty awesome experience, I have to say. We got pretty door on door. Yeah, I mean, what a track. It is so tight and technical, so I can understand from where the drivers are sat, especially now I've been out. Yeah, I mean, have you driven here before yourself?
No, unfortunately not had the opportunity to drive here before, but yeah, came here last year and come here as well for Drift Cup and looked at this, and we've got the track map up on the screen now, so if you guys in attendance, you can see that on the big screen, our virtual representation of what the judges are exactly looking for. So you can see how many clipping points there are, 10 clipping points overall, all outside zones, an inside clipping point on a Manji down the highway to hell in the middle of the track. Look, this is fast, it's technical. It rewards drivers that push 110%. And look, I'm going to say it now. This is going to be a very, very good round. Dry. We've been blessed with sunshine for the first time this year, Sarah.
Don't say it out loud. The sun is shining and it's not raining. We've said it now. But yeah, I mean, I can't wait to see, because so far every single round, every driver's been impeded by such intermittent weather that this is going to be really interesting.
Yeah, it certainly is going to be interesting. Look. Basically, let's have a chat. Let's have a chat about the guys, though, that could take the podium. Because for me, out of nowhere today, there's been a guy that's just rocked up this weekend, and he's really pushing hard. And that's Stephen Fitzgerald, coming all the way from Ireland. Now, he qualified first at the last Drift Games Nationals event. He was looking strong. That was, again, another tight technical circuit with fast exits on it. For me today, Fitzgerald's been looking on form, and I think he could come in this weekend and upset the championship.
I think he could. I've been watching, and yeah, he is looking absolutely on it. So let's see what happens. It could upset everything. It could upset everything.
Well, like I say, the top three drivers in this championship this weekend really fighting for it. Martin Cowley, Josh King and Louis Edwards. Josh King, though, got back in that car. You know, we said he had problems with that car mid-season. He had to jump in the V8 Turbo 5 series of his. He's back in it, though, and we can see, Josh King looking back on form. He's had some help in the week from Martin Richards. Martin Richards, got the podium.
I would take his advice all day long.
Martin Richards, a seasoned pro, he got that experience. He gained a podium in Europe this year. Not an easy task. Josh King went to him, got some advice, set the car up. He's now on Valino tyres as well. So Josh King is running the same tyres that Martin Richards was running when he won that round in Riga in Latvia. And Richards was flying, and so is Josh King this weekend. Martin Cowley, though, changed the engine in his car last night in the paddock.
What? He changed the entire engine.
So he changed the engine in the week, put a new engine in. They had that car dynoed, it made 600 horsepower. He said he's feeling good, he's feeling strong, the engine's good. They come here yesterday and they blew a bottom end bearing, they blew a bearing in the engine. And he said, look, I can't do it, I've got to change the engine tonight. So his team scrambled, they drove an engine 3 hours here to the circuit. They put it in the car last night, and he's been looking on form. Louis Edwards, though, that technical driving style, that guy, he might not have the fastest car on the track, but what he does has is that consistency. He's a very good line driver, and this track is going to reward the line driving as much as it's going to reward the high power cars.
Absolutely, and we've seen Louis Edwards' consistency all year, haven't we? He's proved that he is a technical driver. So,
yes.
Again, it's wide open, isn't it?
But then, yeah, look, we can say, look, Andy Frost, he's out in that fast start E92 M3, just right in front of us now. We can see it on the grid waiting to do his first qualifying run of the day. He's been looking on form. He's been looking strong. He's been looking fast, and he's feeling comfortable in the car. These guys have had 2 days of practice so far to get adjusted with this track. And let me tell you, not one of them has backed down. They've all stepped up to the plate. So today is going to be incredible. And I think we're almost ready to go down to the start line for the first qualifier of the day. And I'm ready to kick this off. You guys here in attendance ready to kick off qualifying here at round 5? They're getting warmed up, the sun's out, the T-shirts are on, they're enjoying themselves. And as I can see right now, making their way to the start line, the first driver of the day. As me and Sarah, we've got tons of paperwork up here. Many trees have been sacrificed for this. There's Paddy Byrne. Paddy Byrne now steps up to the plate, qualifying up from Drift Cup, getting that opportunity to come here and drive this weekend, Sarah.
Yeah, he's not the first Drift Cup driver we've had this season as well, and they've done fantastically.
They certainly have. Look, the good thing for Drift Cup is these guys, they're really gelling with the tracks, they're learning it out, and they're feeling it, and they've drove this track before, so they've got a little bit of an advantage here. As we can see now, Paddy Byrne coming down for the initiation. Rolling stunt here this weekend. You can see he gets nice and tight outside zone 1, stands on the accelerator, well doesn't, because this guy drives his car with his hands, Sarah. He is a member of Team Legless. Paddy Byrne, disabled, wheelchair bound, so drives his car just with his hands. So what you're witnessing now, ladies and gentlemen, is incredible, as I absolutely curse him because he's been flying all day.
Yeah, you have cursed him. I've seen him this morning, he was flying as well. Hopefully that's just a little nervous glitch for him there, and he's going to get a second chance to get a good run in. But I would think that's probably marked, unfortunately for him, as a 0, I would have thought.
That would be a 0. Yeah, look, stopped drifting, over-rotated, wheels on the inside of the circuit, so that will be deemed as a 0, unfortunately, for Paddy Byrne's first qualifying run.
we've got open pit as well. So if you guys get the chance to go down and have a look around these cars, you wouldn't believe the controls you've got.
Oh, they're
in
just.
This car. I mean, he
just
controls
insane.
that just
with his hands.
hand
Yep.
controls.
But he's not the
It's
only
amazing.
one this weekend. We've also got Darren Wiles here with his fully hand-controlled PS13. And look, credit to these guys because they've got that die-hard attitude. They're not giving up. They wasn't going to give up ever.
Yeah.
You know, they're their hobby just for the sake of a disability. As we can see there, a
Absolutely
replay
not.
of Paddy Byrne taking that car off track. Look, he'll be back out for his second
He will.
qualifying run. It's not all thrown away. And nerves. This is the first time driving in the BDC. He's stepped up from Drift Cup, as I mentioned earlier. And Paddy Byrne is the first qualifier of the day out. So all
Yeah,
this
it's a lot of
crowd,
pressure.
yeah,
A
all
lot
the
of
crowd
pressure.
watching our three judges this weekend. Obviously, we have Brad McQueen, our head judge, Ryan Poffenkerry and Ben Manuel in the judging tower. Those guys, they've got to decide who gets a trophy and who goes home. And, well, I mean,
I don't envy their job.
you don't envy their job.
No.
We go back to the start line. We see Jamie Stanton on the line now. Jamie Stanton, I do believe your Drift Cup 2019 champion. So Stanton sits on the line in this BMW E36 Touring, ready for his first qualifying run of the day. And Stanton been looking good as well. Another guy, as I mentioned, these guys been driving this track, so they know it. They know it like the back of the hand. They've got a little bit of a backside before they even come here this weekend to,
Yeah, they know what to
what they do.
expect.
Yeah, exactly that, Sarah. So he fires it into the outside zone one. Just a little breeze there, knocking over the cone as Stanton stands on the accelerator. Nice transition into outside zone two. But you can see those three dotted lines on the edge of the circuit. That is, how close the judges would like to see them to them clipping points. So the closer they are, the deeper they are into those three white lines, denotes how deep they are or how committed they are. You can see Stanton missed that one, failed to get his wheels in it. He stays in the accelerator around for Luna as he now puts the power down. This is where it demands all the power. And if you get nice and wide, you can see him all the way over those three marks and across our M-Tech finish line. Good run there and a good score on the board for Jamie Stanton.
Fantastic run. Going round there yesterday, that is really, really tricky part of the track. It does look like quite an easy kind of. You've got the big semicircle
Easy.
around
Did you
there.
just say
it looks
easy?
easy from out here where we sat. When I went around it yesterday, I realised just how much you think you're in a semicircle.
But you're not.
The track completely changes, and you almost end up with two corners on one corner. And
Yep.
it really
Double
does
apex.
kind of it really makes you think. I don't know
Is-
how the drivers do it so quickly.
Well, the 57 there for Jamie Stanton, his first qualifying run. Nice job done there for Stanton. And we move it along to Chrissy Nayland. Chrissy Nayland stepping up to the mark this weekend and looking good, saying the car's feeling good, he's feeling confident, and he's looking to rock the boat this weekend. As he comes around, you can see those cones there denoting each lane the drivers take, and a nice opposite flick initiation, what the judges were looking for. As Chrissy Nayland now makes his way into outside zone 2, and again another driver failing to get all the way out to it, just hung his back bumper over it, but I do believe judges were looking for wheels in that zone, so they wanted to see drivers committed, And Nayland tight up the inside. You can see him using the handbrake there to try and extend that car out to the outside zone as he puts the foot down and makes the pass round. Two final clipping points for Chrissy Nayland and brings it across the line. A very, very technical one wheel dropped over onto the grass is points deduction, so it's a fine line this weekend, Sarah.
It is, but down by that clipping point, I mean, I was going to say it's green painted tarmac. It doesn't look very green now because it's covered in rubber, but that must be super slippy as well. So if you actually clip that just ever so slightly, it's just going to kind of send you out far wider than you want it to be, so it's going to end up putting wheels off. That's going to be a part where I think they need to be quite careful with it being painted tarmac. It is super slippy. So who have we got on the line next? It should be...
So it's Owen Atkinson. Owen
yeah.
Atkinson up next in this crazy MX-5, representing Teesside Kart in there on the side of the car. And he comes off the line for his first qualifying run of the day. And I missed the score. I missed the score for Chrissy Nayland. Unfortunately, I was messing around paperwork. My fault. Should have been paying attention, and I wasn't. Nice initiation there from Atkinson as he gets nice and wide in the outside zone. Look at this from Owen Atkinson, this little MX-5. But again, another driver failing to get to the outside zone. Difficult place to get to. Spoke to a few drivers, and they said it's not natural.
Yeah.
You really have to work the car in, and you probably would have felt that yesterday when you was in the car.
Absolutely.
So Atkinson makes it nice and deep into the outside zone. Transitions back now as he makes his way round the Luna part of the circuit. And Atkinson, you can see him shallow up the angle, not the biggest horsepower car on the grid, but uses the grip, uses the momentum, so he dials the angle out and then dials it back in again and puts it across the line and gets himself a run on the books.
Yeah, not a bad run for Owen now. We'll see what the judges think of the score. Just having a bit of a deliberate.
So scores dropping in there from our judges, and a good first qualifying score there for Atkinson. A 55.3 puts him in second position at the moment. So Atkinson looking good. Up next, Matt Roberts. So Matt Roberts off the line, another driver coming up from Drift Cup this weekend. And if you're a fan of UK drifting, you've probably seen the live stream from Drift Cup, and that will be put on by his better half, Daryl. She's here in attendance, probably screaming somewhere, making a lot of noise. It gets into the outside zone. There you go. There's Daryl. You can hear her screaming her head off. And Daryl doing a very nice job now. Just fails to get the front of that car close to that inside zone. Oh, and that's a shame, a big wobble, but he does manage to hold it together now. If Matt Roberts can put in a run, he could potentially get himself a spot in the top 32 later on today, as Matt Roberts, ladies and gentlemen, in that BMW gets it across the line, and he'll be happy with that one, Sarah.
He will be. That wasn't too bad at all. It was a little bit of a wobble in there, unfortunately, but still should be enough for a half-decent score. Hopefully that'll keep him in the safe zone.
Yeah, look, I think the little straight and the little wobble coming into the outside zone as he entered Luna is going to hurt his score. Yeah, there we go, a 29 for Matt Roberts. It does hurt his score ever so slightly, but it's something to work on. You know, he's put a lap in, the nerves have gone. We move it along now to this man, Mark Chapman, in this BMW E30 Touring, representing Mapped Motorsport, as he comes off the line. And Chapman, very good round at the previous rounds of Drift Cup. Can he hold it together this weekend as he fires into the outside zone very fast? You can see him on the accelerator nice and early. Not sure how deep he was into the outside zone as he gets the tyre into outside zone 3 there, and you can see that transition very awkward. They almost have to cut the curb. And looking good so far for Chapman as he comes flying down the aptly named Highway to Hell, but he's sacrificed outside zone. You can see him get the car on the inside of the curb there. He lets it wash now back out onto that outside line, and Chapman going to be using all the power of that turbo as he pulls it across the finish line, and not a bad job.
Not too bad. I would be quite interested to see what the judges think of this scores-wise, because he looked quite strong going into 3. Like you mentioned a minute ago, it's very, very tricky, and you said a lot of drivers are saying it's not quite the natural line to get 3. But he kind of managed it, and then he sort of messed up a little bit.
Yeah. I think the thing for me, for dropping that outside zone, he shortcutted the circuit. That's going to hurt his score, and there we go, a 37.
Still not a bad score for your first run. That still could keep him in the safe zone. So next up we have Luke Trammer.
Yeah, Luke Trammer from East Yorkshire, driving Nissan S13 RB25 under the bonnet, representing Firefly Speed Shop. 2019 was the second season in Drift Cup and qualified for BDC at Three Sisters Round 4. So he knows this track. He qualified for BDC at the Drift Cup round here many weeks ago, but can Luke Trammer now hold it together? As he's very, very quiet. Lacks a little bit of impact, but you know what? Technical driving style, he's getting the job done at the moment. Fails to get the front of that car nice and close to that curb. Oh, makes a big mistake there. Puts the wheels up on the inside of the curb, so he's dropped that outside zone. As he stands back on the throttle, Luke Trammer now going to be looking to better the rest of this run. On the final 2 zones, he gets very deep across the line he goes, and Trammer puts in a good run there in the end.
He just got caught up, and a few drivers seem to be getting caught up in the same place as well.
Yeah.
Seems to be that spot is just. It must be quite natural to go a little bit too shallow, and it must be quite hard work. I think what they're doing is from experience, and let me tell you, that was a long time ago. But I think what they're doing on the track, on the initiation, on the manji, they were told in briefing not to do a big lock-to-lock manji, so keep it shallow.
They're shallowing it up, getting the front into that inside clipping point, but then they're coming off throttle too early, and it's putting the car on the inside of the circuit, which means they're sacrificing that outside zone. Up next on the line, we do have Mike Lardner, I do believe, but we can see that crazy E-Type Jag. Looks like he's going to be making his way back to the pits, so potentially problems with that car. Yeah, making his way back to the pits. We will get back to that later. That car, incredible build, and what a machine it is. But we go back to the line, we do see Mike Lardner, the mechanic from Lee in Wigan, right here, hometown guy. So if you're local, this is the guy you want to be shouting for right now, as Mike Lardner, former drifter in the BDC, representing Voodoo Vinyls and Railway Motors. RB25 under the bonnet, 400 horsepower. And Lardner right now fires into that outside zone, looking comfortable, but it's again another driver sacrificing outside zone 2. And just these guys not really gelling with that unnatural line, having to make the car work. And you know what, for me, Sarah, I think the first guy that comes out and nails that line will be the guy that can consistently do that. Maybe the guy that stands on the podium all weekend.
That's it. And I mean, I know the judges do take a lot of the driver's style and finesse into consideration, of course, with the scores. But yeah, I think if you just get a good technical run in, you're going to be, in with a chance of a really decent score. Yeah,
exactly. And I think impact at the moment and smoke and speed and all that is going to be way down the judges' order, because so far we haven't seen a technical run from the driver. So We wait for the score to come in for Mike Lardner. I mistrammed the score, but we do have some equipment that's been brought to us now for...
and he got 35.
So
35 for Luke Tranmere.
So where does Mike Lardner drop in? Does Lardner's score drop in just yet?
Yeah, and his score's just coming at 54.
Yeah, so a 54, I do believe, for Mike Lardner. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's popping up on our screen, or maybe I've missed it again. So on the line we do have Paul Beachy. Paul Beachy coming all the way
Ramsgate.
from Ramsgate. Yeah, sorry, my eyes are fixed on everybody else in the tower apart from my paperwork at this moment in time. And Paul Beachy sits on the line. This incredible S15, sponsored by 11s. I actually drove this car the other day, road legal.
Really?
Road legal, this car, yeah. I mean,
I hope you were well behaved then.
Yeah, oh, you're well behaved, yeah. So nice initiation there for Beachy. Big handbrake drag though. Judges wanted to see an opposite flick, so that's messed up his line into outside zone 2. Yeah, gets deep into 3 though, stays on the front. Oh, stalls it up a little bit. Beachy going to have to work now as he can hear him kicking the clutch. SR22 under the bonnet, and again that shallow transition just messed up that line, but he does fulfill a very nice line now as he makes his way into Luna, and Beachy kind of pulling this one back together again after a scrappy start. This guy struggled all season with this car. And then we've got a big clutch kick as Beachy takes it across the line. And you know what? That's probably the best run I've seen Paul Beachy do all year.
Well, he'll be well happy with that then. Nothing to complain about there. I wonder what the score will be. He did have a little bit of a wobble at the beginning.
Yeah, he certainly did. Yeah, 550 horsepower. SR22 under the bonnet, representing Secret Works, 11s and APW Engineering.
And he's in with a 33.
So a 33, so a low score there, and those little hiccups for Beachy. Not doing a good job. Up next, we do have this man we spoke about him a second ago, Darren Wiles, all fully hand control car. Look at that inside the car. You can see him revving the car up on like a gear, a brake lever on a car. Yeah. Incredible.
Amazing.
This is just an insane machine, and Darren Wiles comes off the line. The landlord from Shotford in Norfolk, LS3 under the bonnet, 500 horsepower. This car built by Jack Tonkin at Jay's Garage, and what a sterling build it is. If you get a chance to go down there and talk to Darren, have a look around this machine, absolutely incredible. As he just dropped a wheel, but he's staying in it. Oh, he's up on the inside of the curb. It's going to hurt his score massively, but if Darren can stay in this, he can get himself at least a score on the board. And Darren says in his notes, Sarah, that legs are overrated.
That's it. I mean, he is constantly the guy on my Facebook making ridiculous comments. He's so funny. He's such a funny guy to chat to. So if you get the chance to go and check out his car and have a chat.
Listen, even though due to his disability, he is a huge personality. He's a fun guy to be around.
He is.
He's always got a smile on his face. And there we go, Darren Wiles, the power slider, gets a score on the board. And what will he see as run 1 comes in, and a 26. A very low score, but nevertheless, again, a score on the board. Move it along to this guy, Andy Sykes. So Andy Sykes sits on the line now.
And Andy Sykes is a contractor from Sevenoaks, so he's in the PS13.
Yeah, SR20 DET under the bonnet, 400 horsepower, and my new motto, is SR20 the world, Sarah.
Yeah, is that the thing now?
That is the thing. Right. That's the thing. I'm back loving the SR20s. He says he's been plagued with car problems at last round, so had to come back again. He just wanted to drive NEC. He said, all I want to do is just drive NEC. And then he got the taste, didn't he?
He did.
You know, like when you go out for a beer on a Friday night and you get one, you get the flavour, you're like, I could stay out all night now. Yeah, that's what happened to Andy Sykes.
You just go out and you end up out.
Oh,
yes.
That's
what it is.
He ended up going out, and he's back again to the VDC. As you can see, Andy Sykes doing a good job so far, letting that car wash, but he picked up the throttle a little bit too early and didn't let that car wash deep enough into outside zone 3, and he makes his way down the highway to hell. And Sykes balancing that car. This car built many moons ago, and he even said to me earlier on in the paddock, this car was built nearly 8 years ago, and he said, I'm still out here now mixing it up with the guys with the best cars and the sequential gearboxes and the big horsepower JZs and V8s, and he's still having fun, and that is all that matters.
It is, and that is what the drift community is all about as well. You see a lot of guys down the pits there, and they're not focused on what, necessarily what they're scoring. Obviously it's great, it's a bonus if they score well, but they just want to have some fun, and that's exactly what
that's all that matters. Look, I said to someone a long time ago, when you're not having fun, that's when you need to stop. And I did miss that score there for Sykes. Sykes is coming at 55, so 55 there for Sykes. Up next on the line, it will be Dan Tyler. So Dan Tyler on the line now, ready to make his first qualifying run.
Yeah, Dan Tyler from Essex, and he is in the S14 1JZ.
Yeah, Dan Tyler was been driving some underpowered cars for many, many years, and he took some time out, built this car, competed in the Drift Cup, and you can look at this. Now, Dan Tyler is a very, very good line driver. This man will know exactly where he needs to put that car, and you can see as he puts the back and the front of that car exactly on them clipping points, and this could be a big score. If Tyler can hold this together and fulfill these final outer zones, this could rock the top of the championship. This could be way up there in the order, as you can see now representing Team Locked and Loaded, as Dan Tyler puts the foot down and gets fully into that zone. Across the line goes Dan Tyler. And that guy, listen, he's cool, calm and collected, and he's a killer when he gets out on track.
That is what's worrying sometimes, isn't it? Because he looks so, like you say, cool, calm and collected. He looks kind of, oh, yeah, don't notice him. It's fine. He's just in the background. No. He's one to watch.
He certainly is one to watch. So scores start dropping in. And not as good as what I first assumed.
Not quite. He did miss a couple of clips, I think, from what I saw from up in the tower, but still not a bad score at all.
No, so a 50 on his first qualifying run, so he will take that, and we move it along to Ignis Menelga on the line now in this Nissan 300 ZX.
The mechanic from London representing Pulse Motorsport.
Yeah, Ignis off the line. You can see that rolling start now that we've got here, and you can see where guys in qualifying allowed to use the whole width of the track for the initiation. Nice flick there from Ignis. When it comes to the twin battles, those guys will be narrowed down to just one lane. You can see they're nice and deep in that zone. You let the car wash before he got back on the throttle, and Ignis doing a nice tidy job so far. Now can he make this really work, as he comes in very, very fast, almost backwards there as he gets into that outside zone. Stands on it right now as Ignis comes around past the crowd and into the final outer zones, and Ignis Menelga brings it across the line.
That looked,
a tidy job.
Yeah, that looked like a really strong run. I think we actually got an applause off one of the judges there. Yeah, very, very strong run. That was nice to see, especially in clip 3, because a lot of people are missing that. Exactly
that, yeah, and this guy's still running the standard engine in this car, VG30 DET, as a V6 3 litre under the bonnet twin turbo, and 2019 RDC first place there. And there we go, a 69 for Ignis Menelga, and that is what you need to do. This is what I was saying earlier, a little less impact, but more line. If you can get those outside zones, if you can fulfill those zones, you're going to get rewarded, and Ignis certainly did that. Well spotted by you, Sarah. You're getting good at this now.
I'm learning.
You're getting good at it. If you're getting very good at this, I'm going to be out of a job soon. You have to be careful, because otherwise I'm not going to have a job. Up next was meant to be James Matheson, unfortunately not making it to the line, I do believe.
It looks as though possibly not.
And he's been plagued with car issues this year, absolutely plagued. I won't go into it because I know it hurts him a lot. But yeah, unfortunately, James Matheson not making it to the line. Up next, though, will be Stu Egdahl.
So Stu Egdahl, traffic officer.
Certainly is.
Oh, he's got special training then, isn't he?
He's got special training. He knows what he's doing.
I hope he doesn't chase people down in that. No one will get away for him.
So it does look... Hold on a minute. So what's going on here? We see a car backing up off the line. So it looks like Matheson is going to make it to the line, and he's borrowed a car. So James Matheson has borrowed a car, and he got stuck getting to the line. So Matheson now pulls up into the line, and this is a borrowed car.
That is some trust, isn't it? To lend.
Well, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I wouldn't even lend you my 5 Series to go down the shop, Sarah. And that sounds harsh, but I've seen you drive a rally car. And I like my 5 Series, and I've seen you drive a rally car, and I'm telling you what.
The handbrake.
Yeah, and it's not flying. It's not happening with me. It's not going to happen. Off the line, James Matheson for his first qualifying run of the day in this borrowed car from Alistair Sutton. This is a BMW V8 under the bonnet in this Nissan S14. Right now, as Matheson fires it in the handbrake initiation, so he's going to get marked down there for not using the flick. But if Matheson can put in a clean run and fulfill all those outside zones, he will redeem himself some scores there. And Matheson said to me just yesterday, I just want to prove to everyone that I can still drive. He said, you know what, I've had such bad car problems for the last couple of years. People have started disbelieving in me, and they don't think I've still got it. He said, I can still drive. I can still put a car around the track. He said, and I just want to prove it. He said, 2020, I'll be back in my S15 with a new power plant. I'm coming back, and I'm going to get it. I'm going to get this Pro-Am Championship.
Good.
And that's a man that's determined.
Exactly. I love that attitude. And he's just proved it. He's just sent that round there, and that looked like a really decent run.
Let me tell you something. That's the third car that Matheson's driven this weekend. There we go. Scores dropping in for James Matheson on 48.3.
Not bad. He needs to be happy with that one. So this is the third car he's driven.
Third car. No, I'm not going to get into it because it hurts.
Does it hurt him?
It hurts.
It
cuts deep, yeah. But nevertheless, Matheson does get a score on the board in a borrowed car.
He should be happy with that.
And we go back to the start line. We see Stu Egdahl now. So he'll rewarm those tyres on the back of that 2JZ S14.
So yeah, this is the traffic officer. So just watch yourselves on the way out.
Yeah, just be careful of him.
Representing Turbo Smart and AET Turbos. He's been drifting for 10 years.
Yeah, he's long in the game. He's long in the game. Nearly as long as me.
Nearly as long
Nearly
as you.
as long as me. I'm old now.
Oh, I'm catching you up, mate.
Getting a little bit dusty in the game now. So Stu Egdahl sits on the line, ready to go. The Team Red Mist. Who's your mate? S14. And Egdahl, well, this is the kind of guy that will come out of nowhere and either do really bad or blow the doors off the competition and qualify first. Nice flick initiation, but he's shallow on outside zone 1 now as Egdahl again. Look at that, sacrifices 2. This is going to be scrappy. Sacrificing 3. This is going to be way down the order. He's really hurting his score right now as Egdahl realises and tries to pull this back together, fires himself in to that outside zone and sacrifices that one again. This is going to hurt his score massively, Sarah. This is not looking good right now for Stu Egdahl. This is what I said. If he's in the right mindset, he can come out and win the event. If he's not in the right zone, Egdahl will just fold in half, Yeah. And it's such a shame. Such a nice guy on and off the track, a good personality around the pits.
Absolutely, but he's just, not managed it on that occasion, unfortunately.
No, he has got work to do. So his score drops in for Egdahl and it will be a 30.
41. But he's got another chance.
He certainly has.
Let's see what he can pull out of the bag.
So making their way now to the start line will be Chris Parnham. Chris Parnham in the crisp tuning. RB25 powered S14.
Yorkshireman.
Yep, Yorkshireman.
Yeah,
one of your own, Sarah.
Up my ends,
One of your own.
That's it. Representing crisp tuning.
Yeah, so Parnham on the line, ready to rock and roll. Made his way up from Drift Cup at the last round in Birmingham. From Drift Cup. And Chris Parnham been taking the advantage of all the seat time this weekend, and again another straight line initiation. He gets out of it and has to re-initiate as Parnham fires that car nice and deep into outside zone 3 there. And Parnham absolutely destroying the rev limit as he drops a wheel. That's going to hurt him. Yeah, it did. Big understeer as he caught the wheel on the edge of the track and a wheel off, as I mentioned earlier, onto that grass. So if you see mud flying up in the air, that will be wheels off, that will be points deduction. And let me tell you right now, that is a 0.
It's got to be. Stop drifting there,
Stop drifting completely, over-rotated. And Parnham will know that. He'll be angry inside the car, he'll be really frustrated. And he's going to have to really put himself together now for the second qualifying run of the day. And we just need to make that official scores drop in, and it's 0 and 0.
I think he sounded angry by the way he drove past the commentary tower there. So.
No, he just sounds that the whole time.
Does he?
Up next on the line, this guy, Justinus Norkus, in this crazy V8 turbo BMW E36. And this guy, again, proving himself in the BDC, made his way up from Drift Cup, and he has looked like a solid contender in the championship. Look at this. He's going to do a big straight line initiation. That's not what the judges wanted. They want to see that opposite flick, so he's going to hurt his score already, but he's very wide as Justinus Norkus takes it off the track and into the tyres. And I'm not sure why or what happened there. He let the car drop massively. You can see the marbles on the outside of the track. I don't know if he was that deep that he got the wheel on the marbles, the loose, it's like driving on gravel.
You, doesn't it? Yeah,
it's like driving on gravel. And look at this, you can see, he goes way too wide, gets on them marbles, and it's too late, it's all gone. It's such a shame there. He's been looking good. And again, another driver looking strong today in practice, and unfortunately just took himself down.
Yeah, that's just
that would be a 0 as well.
Yeah, really unfortunate for
and look, the pressure of qualifying starts to come through. And I spoke about this before, about how it plays in drivers' minds, how drivers sit on the line. They look incredible at practice days and in all morning in practice, and then they get out on track ready for qualifying.
Because it counts.
Yeah, and they sit on that line and they know that there's only one car on track. Yeah. And everybody here, everybody at home watching, the judges, all eyes are on them. Yeah. And it just, the
pressure would get to me.
I was terrible. I was terrible at qualifying. I hated qualifying. I even said to the owners of the British Championship many moons ago, should we just scrap qualifying and we'll just have 45 drivers do head-to-head battles all the way through till we find a winner? Yeah. And they said, don't be so ridiculous, learn to drive. And I was like, that's a bit harsh.
Little harsh.
It's just a little bit harsh.
But this is coming from the guy that won't lend me his car, so I'm not really going to defend you there.
True. Fair enough. Fair play. So Justinus Norkus will score a 0, and he'll go back to the pits. He'll lick his wounds.
Yeah.
He'll recollect himself, and he'll come back out for a second qualifying run of the day.
And he'll mean business. I've seen him when he means business as well.
When he's angry. When he's angry, he means business. Up next, though, Andy Frost.
He is gelling so well with this car.
Look, it's like he's been driving this car for the last 10 years. We've seen him in practice earlier, and he's been flying. And we know the Iceman, Mr. Frost himself, is looking for some redemption. He's just not had any luck this season in the British Championship. He built his own car. He had multiple engine failures. Team Fast Star said, you know what, buddy, jump in this car, drive it, and what a drive it's been so far. Wow, nice initiation from Frost as he gets nice and deep into outside zone 1. This is looking good already as Frost now gets deep into outside zone 2. Look at this from Frost. You can see him balancing that car, absolutely perfect. Very clever driving from Frost as he comes down the highway to hell. Does keep all 4 wheels on the track as he stands on the throttle now. And Andy Frost looking very, very good as he puts the hammer down, starts to blast the tyres off the back of this E92 BMW M3. And Three Sisters Wigan makes some noise for Andy Frost. What a run. And even the judges agreeing and are an applaud there.
The judges are applauding in the tower.
Wow.
That was fantastic. That is what we're looking for today. That was so
That's what
technical.
I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for, because I want to see someone come in and ruin the championship before the final round. Now, I'm telling you now, Frost has got it in him.
You want to upset the apple cart today, don't you?
I love upsetting the apple cart. What does Andy Frost score as the judges?
I'm excited for the scores to drop in because I don't know what.
Pen in hand, ready to go, Sarah?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready.
What's it going to be as the scores from the judges start to drop into the system? Oh, this is going to be big.
This is amazing.
This is going to top qualifying straight away as the score drops in. An 84 for Andy Frost's first qualifying run. Team Fast Star pulling it all out, and Andy Frost proving to be the man behind the car. And we'll move it back on. This guy, also representing Team Fast Star on the line, sits. I'm missing a few drivers. Got to flick through my paperwork very, very quickly. Jamie Stevens now sits on the line in a borrowed car, Sarah. Let me tell you the story. Jamie Stevens did some demonstrations at Donington Park for Time Attack. He had an engine failure at that event. They got the car back. They tried to rebuild it. They had multiple problems getting that car ready. And you know what? Adam Charville, who owns this car, he said, hey, don't worry, don't stress yourself out. Just take my car. Jamie Stevens looked at him and he said, dude, this car costs as much as somebody's house.
What?
And Adam Charville said, don't worry about it, we can rebuild it. Just go out there, have some fun and drive it. And on the line right now, Jamie Stevens sits in this incredible Secret Works S15, a VR38 under the bonnet, mapped by MB Automotive. And this car is incredible, let me tell you that. There is nothing. If you've got the catalogue for a drift car and you said, I want it all, this car's got it right now. Stevens has it to his use as he puts the pedal down. Oh, and he sacrificed the outside zone. And again, look, I know these guys have had problems with the throttle pedal all weekend, and I think that's come back. I think he's got that same problem again. And there we go, Stevens comes flying in. Yeah, it looks like it's... And again, you can see, he just goes to use the throttle, nothing there, as Jamie Stevens looks like he's going to finish up the run and just try and maybe iron out a few teething issues. And look at the potential of this car. That is... And if you get the chance to walk down in the pits later on, you know, before we go out for top 32 battles, go down and meet the guys at Team Fast Star. Have a look around that. What a build. What an incredible machine. As I said, if you got the catalogue for a drift car and said, I want to build the best one.
Every option.
That's what Adam Charville did. He got out the catalogue and he said, oh, I'll have a HGT sequential gearbox. I'll have an engine from an R35 GTR. But that's not good enough. We'll put better turbos on it and we'll tune it and we'll put the rad in the boot and we'll buy all the best stuff from around the world and we build the best S15. That is that car.
It looks like he's done it, to be fair. Like you said, he's got so much potential. Like you saw the back end of that run. I can't wait to see when his throttle's working properly. Hopefully he can get a full running next time.
Exactly that, yes. So we made that official. There will be a 0, unfortunately, for Jamie Stevens. We move it along now to Charlie Hume.
Charlie Hume. I'll tell you what.
What a guy. What a guy.
He has impressed me no end. I mean, did he come up from Drift Cup out of absolutely nowhere?
Yep. Got on the podium at
NEC,
and then come through, and then almost ended up on the podium in the pro class.
I know.
What a guy.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Well, here we go now. Charlie Hume for his first qualifying run. Nice opposite flick deep into the outside zone. And you can see Hume absolutely committed very deep. And he's looking very good. He's very deep in the outside zone as he gets back on the throttle. You can see him kick that clutch as Charlie Hume pedaling this car. Not the most powerful car on the grid, but Hume making it work right now.
He's a fantastic driver.
Incredible.
And he is really technical as well, and that's what gets him. He's consistently technical.
Yeah, the operations manager from Halifax in Yorkshire. SR20 under the bonnet, just 300 horsepower, representing Kenda Tyres, AB Auto Works, a Retro Speed Shop, DARCV, Vehicle Restoration and Fabrication. And there we go, Charlie Hume putting in a very nice first qualifying run.
Excellent run, and that shows as well why he deserves a place where he is
now. Wow, look at this, a 77 puts Hume in second place in qualifying at the moment, and that's a statement. That's consistent. That's someone coming back saying, you know what, I'm not a one-hit wonder, I'm here to rock this championship, and he gets an absolutely incredible score. And we go back to the line where we see Danny McGuire. So Danny McGuire sits on the line ready to go for his first qualifying run of the day. So here we go, off the line, Maguire in this Nissan Skyline R34. So looking for a nice opposite flick, and there we go. Maguire said he's feeling comfortable this weekend. Car looking very, very good. And he is absolutely committed there. Big angle though on that transition. Does make it work, does Danny Maguire. As he now once again stands on the accelerator very deep into outside zone. This looking very tidy from Danny Maguire right now. And again, Maguire said he's feeling confident, and that is oozing right now as he goes big angle. And stands on the throttle, starts to destroy the tyres on the back of that Skyline, and Maguire puts it on that clipping point and across the line. Incredible stuff, Sarah.
Brilliant run from Danny Maguire. He is a confident guy though, and he's showing us that he's a real showman as well. He loves to throw out the tyre smoke, give the crowd something to watch as well, and he does that every round, which is brilliant. So we're just going to wait and see some scores. Waiting for one more to drop in. There we go. And we've got a 69 for Danny Maguire, so he is well up the qualifying list so far.
Yeah, so a 69 for Maguire. We're moving along to this guy, Lewis Baker. Lewis Baker, the showman I used to call him. Because this guy, let me tell you a secret, he drives on nothing less than 90 degrees of angle everywhere he goes. I think he may have reined it in the last couple of events. But let me tell you, this guy blows the body panels off this car and just goes out for fun. And this morning, his dad said he was up nice and early, getting this car ready, getting himself in the zone. Look at this from Baker, as you can see, big angle transition, and again throws it on another load of big angle as he transitions back once again. And looking good so far from Baker as we move up the order. Big fast initiation, just drops the wheel on the edge of the circuit but holds it together, and that is the signature move from Lewis Baker right there as he puts foot to floor and smokes out Wigan, pops a wheel on the curb, and across the line he goes. And Lewis Baker looking strong.
Very strong. Brilliant run from Lewis Baker there. I haven't really seen him that much. You know, he's kind of been floating in the background there.
Yeah, in and out.
I'm excited about this.
Look, he could come do big things this weekend. Yeah, he certainly can.
And we've got some scores just waiting to drop in. You can see the judges are deliberating in the tower up here. And they seem to be coming to a decision, which gives him, Lewis Baker, a score of 61. Again, another high scorer for the qualifying so far this afternoon.
So there we go, on the line now. Dominic Gates in again a borrowed car.
Another borrowed car.
Yeah, another borrowed car.
We've got a lot today.
Yeah, big accident in Teesside in his own S13. Took that car to the wall, and big damage. He's having that car repaired at the moment. And he jumped in his friend's car. He wasn't going to make it. He said, you know what, I'm going to take some time out. And his friend said, no, take the car. This car suits this track. Go drive, have some fun. And look at this, he's having fun right now as Diamond Dom from Goldfinger Rings makes his way around the track. And Dominic Gates from West Sussex, RB25 under the bonnet, 400 horsepower, representing Goldfinger Rings, KAR Driving, Violent D, M&M Engineering and J Developments. And not doing a bad job there on that run at all, Dominic Gates.
Yeah, hopefully that's a good score on the bar for Dominic. Considering he's in a borrowed car as well, so it's a little bit unfamiliar for him. And some scores dropping in just now for Dominic Gates. Really good score. He'll be very, very, very happy with that. 64.
Yes, the score's starting to ramp up a little bit now. I think everyone's seen a few runs. The judges are kind of in the groove now. They know what they want from drivers.
Yeah.
And look, you know, these guys are having fun. They've seen a lot of guys go off. They've seen a lot of zeros, lots of low scores. So they're saying, look, if I could just make it around, get into those outside zones, I can get a good score on the ball. We go back to the line. We see Ash Jones in this V8 E36 BMW. So he didn't have enough time in the off-season to put a turbo on it, but he said next year I'll be back with a turbo because his car just lacking ever so slightly in power. He's got nitrous on it now, again working, and he fires it in. Nice wide initiation from the DKM driver as he puts that car on the line. And Ash Jones having some good fun today. Very, very technical driver, listening to the spotter, listening to everything the spotter's saying about getting that car, you know, on that perfect qualifying. Oh, big wobble there as he fails to get to the outside zone. And Ash Jones now just going to be looking to get a score on the ball. That was a huge mistake, as he's very wide onto that final outside zone and across the line. And Ash Jones doing a good tidy job there though at the end of that run.
Yeah, not bad at all. Unfortunately, like you say, there was a bit of a mistake in there, but the rest of the run was pretty decent, so hopefully that's a good first score for him.
Yep, representing DKM and Tri-Star has finished top 5 in Drift Cup.
Now you mentioned spotters there, Ian, as well. If anyone that doesn't know, most of these drivers have spotters, which means you've got somebody out there
Got someone
watching.
with a radio.
Yeah, so they're giving them feedback
Yeah.
from the outside of the car, basically. And we've got a score dropping in there for Ash Jones, which is 65. So yeah, that is actually pretty decent. He's up there as well with the higher scores that we've seen.
Yeah, he's up
so
there.
far.
Yeah, he's definitely up there. Yeah, up next, Will Gibbs sitting on the line. And this guy, look, just 18
guy's
years,
awesome.
18 years of age.
18.
Machine operator from Nottingham, BMW E36 1.5 JZ under the bonnet. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. 500 horsepower as we see Gibbs firing his outside zone. Look, a lot of word around the pits this weekend is this guy is the next big thing to come out of the UK. Well, Gibbs this weekend needs to prove it. He needs to get himself up in the mix. We know he's got the potential. We know he's got the talent. He's definitely got the car as Gibbs comes down the highway to hell and fires that car in, almost taking out that clipping point as he gets deep into outside zone. Look at Gibbs, very controlled. That car looks absolutely dialed as he puts foot to floor now and powers through the final two outer zones. And Gibbs looking strong right now as a contender for top spot. Takes it across the line.
He's impressed me since day one. I think he's 17. I think he must have had a birthday.
He's had a
17
birthday.
when he started.
We all have birthdays, Sarah. As
I
much
know,
as you try to deny them
I
and
know,
say
I
that you
do
don't
try.
age, it just doesn't fly. No one believes
I thought
it.
I was getting away with it.
Nobody believes it. Nobody believes
But
it.
he's 17 when he started this season, and he just blows me away. I mean, he has got some talent.
He certainly
He's
has.
really got a lot of talent.
Yeah, he's oozing talent, that young lad. And look, as he moves on, as he gains that experience, he's only going to get better. And I expect big things from Will Gibbs in the coming years. And as we see, because BDC.
Because BDC.
Because
Answer to
BDC.
everything.
That's the damage on the car.
That's to hide. And we've got a score dropping in for Will Gibbs there of 63. He'll be very happy with that. But he's got potential to get a lot higher than that.
He certainly has. The door slams shut on this man's car. Lee Lawrence, Colgate, as we like to name him.
Yes.
You know why? Because he's always smiling with those big pearly whites.
Yeah, he's got a lovely smile.
Yeah, Lee Lawrence sits on the line, and this man just not looking the same this weekend. Just doesn't seem to have the pace in the car. The car been lacking a little bit, but out of nowhere, normally Lee Lawrence pulls it all out the bag as he goes for a very late initiation into outside zone one. Judges have been looking at that one and taking some points away from Lawrence. As you can hear, that car just not really, yeah, that car just not really feeling this weekend.
It's not, which is unusual because he's kind of Mr. Consistent, really.
It
He's
certainly
normally,
is, yeah.
really consistent.
Oh, he's very deep. Oh, he drops a wheel, picks the front wheel off the tarmac as Lee Lawrence, you can see, dab of the handbrake, set that car up. You can hear him really working it, big clutch kicks. Maybe he's dialed a little bit too much gripping. Maybe he's, dropped them tyre pressures down really low just to try and be fast. It's hurting him ever so slightly. It's making the car very difficult to drive. It just doesn't look like it flows.
Absolutely. When I say Mr. Consistent, he almost looks like he's just half asleep when he's driving normally because he's so calm and it just looks easy. He makes it look like such an easy job, like he's just out for a little Sunday mooch. But it looked like he had to fight it there, which is unusual. So I wonder if something has changed for him. And we've got scores dropping in from the judges. Actually not as bad. It hasn't damaged his score quite as bad as I thought it would, which is a very good thing. And we're coming in with a 59, which is really not bad at all.
No one drops him into 9th position at the moment. We move it along to this guy on the line, the madman. He looks like he's mad. He looks like he's just come out of a forest chopping down trees and eating bears. On the line, it is Rob Johnson, all the way from Portsmouth. And Johnson, the plant manager from Portsmouth, driving S14 1.5J, 500 horsepower. As Johnson throws on big angle there. Look at that technical driving. You can see how unnatural that line is to get it from 2 to 3 there. Drivers really having to work to get it out there. And Johnson fires it into outside zone. Big use of the handbrake and it sacrificed the line. You can see him having to rework that one back onto the groove as Johnson puts the hammer down. And Rob Johnson representing Aqua Garage, Pro Tuner, A-Plant, Hill Performance and Washloo. He said he came up in Drift Cup from 2019 at the NEC round last year, and he's been here ever since. He said he's having a lot of fun. Broke the gearbox yesterday, the team scrambled, got another gearbox in it, and out there having fun this weekend. And Johnson gets a score on the board.
We're just waiting for the last judge to pop their score onto the board, which gives Rob Johnson a score of 61.
Yeah, so a 61 there for Johnson. He'll be happy with that. And we move it on to this now, Maciek Belajewski.
Not bad, well done.
Yeah,
Well
try
done.
getting there,
Well
getting
done.
there. Getting used to these European drivers' names, funny enough. So Belujski comes off the line in this crazy S14. And he looked at James Dean's car and he said, you know what, I want the same thing. So he went out, and replicated it. But he does a terrible job there of that outside zone, really falls foul of it. And now it starts to fall apart for Maciek as he comes down that highway to hell. Pulls it together now and gets into the outside zone, but Maciek scrappy beginning to the run. That's going to hurt his score as he comes screaming around that final turn. Now this man typically comes alive when it comes to the twin battles. Very, very good at twin battle driving, very good at getting close, very good at anticipating what the lead car is going to do. But he needs to be a good lead driver himself. Can he find himself a spot in top 32?
That's it. He needs to get through qualifying to actually get to these twin battles. But that is right. He does come alive.
He certainly does, yeah. So, yeah, the mechanic from Krakow, S14 2JZ, 628 horsepower under the bonnet. That was in GT Tuning, BM Transport, Mercury Engineering, PowerMax Engineering, Restyling Centre and MB Auto Care.
And he just popped in with a 48 there.
Yeah, so a very, very low score there for Maciek. He's got work to be done. Up next, this man. I said keep your eyes on him right now, and I think this man's going to do great things this weekend. Stephen Fitzgerald comes off the line, this insane S15. The company director from Cullen in County Cork. RB25 on the rate, 500 horsepower, representing Fitzgerald's Vehicle Works and Quinn M Sport. Well, if you know any Quinn's M Sport cars, you'll know the sound they make, and they've all got that typical driving style right now as Fitzgerald gets nice and deep into the outside zone. And look at the smoke already, full commitment from Fitzgerald as he puts the hammer down, fires down that highway to hell. Very fast is Fitzgerald, almost lifting a wheel off the track. As Fitzgerald gets into the outside zone, you can see him working that car, massaging the accelerator and the clutch to get that car bang on that qualifying line as Fitzgerald comes screaming through the final turn across the line. And that car just sounds good.
It does. It's absolutely savage, isn't it? He impresses me a lot every time I watch him drive. He's got good finesse with it. He's got a bit of style with it as well.
He certainly has.
Loves to pop some tyre smoke out there, but he's only been competition drifting for just over a year, he said.
Yep.
That's
yeah,
not bad.
He's not long in the game.
Yeah.
But Fitzgerald doing very, very good things as we await the score to drop in. And this guy, if you see him, he's not really got a lot of finesse about him, or he's a big guy. Let's just say that. He looks clumsy.
He's certainly
big score
not when
coming
he's
in.
That car. Massive score, absolutely massive score. He's got a 90 for Stephen Fitzgerald. That is definitely going to keep him nice and safe.
Well, I don't want to say I told you so, but let me just say I told you so, didn't I? On the line, ready to rock and roll right now is this man, Stu Jones. Full Stu. Do you know what we call him? Full Stu?
Go on.
Because there isn't a half Stu. He either goes flat out or the car's broken, getting towed off track. Look at him, ready to rock and roll as he slams the door closed on this crazy, crazy S14 representing Slide Motorsport. This turbo 1UZ under the bonnet, making just a mere 540 horsepower. The plumbing engineer from Mansfield in Nottinghamshire, representing comp clutch, ram air filters, Fuchs oil and Gert. He said he can drink a bottle of wine in 5 seconds. Well, can you put a qualifying run in now? Stu Jones, he puts on big angle, almost sacrifices the line, but he gets deep, makes it work, gets deep into the outside zone now. And Stu Jones once again puts on big angle and comes down that highway to hell. Full throttle there from Stu Jones, looking very tidy now as he squeezes the accelerator on that competition clutch S14 and gets it across the line. And do you know what? That's probably one of the better runs I've seen him do today. Nice and deep into those zones.
Yeah,
and
nice and tidy run. Thought that's going to give him a good score. I'm not sure it's going to quite top Stephen Fitzgerald's 90, but it should be up there, keeping him nice and safe for qualifying. We're just waiting for the judges. They're just deliberating over a few things.
Yeah, I think it's going to definitely be up there, Sarah, as the scores drop in.
Absolutely. And that gives him a 75, so absolutely fantastic score.
Yeah, very good score there for Stu Jones. We move it along to this man, and Neregis, can't even say his last name. It's been years. He's even told me 15 times how to pronounce his last name.
Polikevicus.
And I said to him, look, I'm not going to ruin your family name. I'm going to let Sarah do that job as he comes off the line.
Hopefully
right
I was
now.
somewhere near. I'll give it a go.
You give it a go. Nice opposite flick now for Neregis as he gets deep into outside zone 1. And Sarah's on the accelerator, you can see nice and deep into 2. Good transition to 3, but is he going to sacrifice himself? He doesn't. He makes it work now. As Neregis part of the Lunatic School, which is compiled of some of the most craziest Lithuanians I know. The floor layler from London, 2JZ on the rate, 550 horsepower, representing Powerful Force Limited, Pulse Motorsport, Durham Flooring Limited and Daily Cars. As Neregis finishes up this run, puts foot to floor. And his best friend and tutor is obviously the crazy man, Aramis Vascalis. And he'll be out there watching, making sure that Neregis is putting that car exactly where the judges wanted it.
He certainly will. And they've got quite a similar style of driving as well, haven't they?
Yeah, flat out.
Pretty much, yeah. And
just don't take your foot off the accelerator.
That's it. That's all you need to know.
Wow,
yeah.
Look at this. Another big score coming in.
Another excellent score dropping in. Just waiting for the last judge. And we've got a score of 84.
Yeah, so an 84.3 puts Neregis in 3rd place at the moment. We move it along to this man, Davidas Petruskas. And this car has been absolutely for line. Let me tell you, he's one of the fastest men around the circuit right now. And Davidas comes off the line. The BMW E46 328 turbo, 739 horsepower under the bonnet of this car. Representing TH Components, Red Cow tyres, Autofab turbo systems. It says very unusual build. A boosted M52 2.8 engine. As Davidas gets in to the final turn, absolutely smoking out Wigan right now as Davidas Pastrukas takes it across the line.
And that's the Davidas that we've come to know this season.
And that is, it's just a smoke machine.
Yeah, I was literally just going to say you usually can't see him for smoke.
Yeah, just literally, you know, when he enters the circuit, that is it. It's game over. You can't see anything. That's the smoke. Absolutely blocks out the crowd.
He's just full send everywhere, isn't he?
Yeah.
But that's brilliant. That's what we want to see. And that should give him a great score. Just waiting for the judges to confirm.
Yeah, so just waiting for the score there to drop in from Davidas. And here we go at 75. So 75 there for Davidas.
Not bad. I actually thought it was slightly more than that, but this is why I'm not a judge.
No, and I wouldn't want to be.
No.
Up next, Matt Fountain sits on the line. Matt Fountain, the 3D printing service engineer from High Wycombe, Buckinghamshire. Driving a Toyota Sora 1JZ, 500 horsepower. Third year of competing, first year of the British Drift Championship, representing Wharton Motorsport, Absolute Customs, Extreme Performance tyres, OP Oils and Garage D. And what has this young man got? Very quiet and reserved out of the car, but when he gets behind the car, he's an absolute killer. And we'll see his teammate later on in practice, Mike Wharton, in that crazy S13. If you're here in attendance and you've got some pocket money to spend, well, why not head down to the paddock where you will see Wharton Motorsport here in attendance, a whole range of products to sell, including very own Funk Motorsport, heat protection, vibrant performance parts, turbo, smart wastegates, as Fountain takes it very wide and across the line. Yeah, and Cosmos Racing Wheels. So if you've got a few quid to spend this weekend, you're thinking, oh, you know what, I'm feeling flush, I'm going to go splash up. Get yourself down there to the Wharton Motorsport stand, spend some money. And obviously there's plenty of other stands. We've got Hell Performance in attendance, making and supplying lines for all of the teams and drivers for free this weekend. But if you've got your own brake lines you want to get over there, see Steve. Also got the BDC merchandise tent down there selling limited hoodies, t-shirts for this round with the
limited t-shirts.
Limited edition
They're only available
with
here
the Z4.
today.
Yeah, can only get them this round. Also got the guys from Drift Games in attendance selling Hoonigan and Drift Games merchandise. So if you're here in attendance and you want to spend some money, get down there at 53 for Fountain, puts him in 19th position at the moment. And we go move it down to the line after I've just done my sales pitch to this man, Luke Barker.
Luke Barker. He has had some rubbish luck this year.
Well, listen, he said to me, I was in Ireland a couple of weeks ago, I went over there for a little holiday to see the Drift Games National Series and the Drift Games Extreme Championship in Punchestown. And he said to me, my biggest nemesis is the UK. This weekend I'm coming to defeat it. And look at that from Barker as he gets deep into the outside zone. And this is what he means as he gets very wide into outside zone 3. Barker's not messing around right now. He needs redemption. He finished second in the Drift Games National Championship after his first year of competing. This guy is an absolute killer. They changed the cylinder head on this engine just yesterday afternoon in practice after he lost a head gasket, and this is fast and looking good from Barker as he puts the hammer down and takes it across the line. Wigan makes some noise for Luke Barker.
That is the Luke Barker that we've all come to love. He has impressed everyone this season. That guy has got some serious driving talent, and he's another young one as well. But he's had some rubbish luck in the UK.
I reckon that could rock Top Spot. I'm going to say it now. I reckon he could rock Fitzgerald.
It could. But, you know, I have been known to be wrong, so I'm not going to say anything.
I'm wrong more times than I'm right. Let me just put that out there. So we await the score to drop in there for Luke Barker, representing Tarmac Sports.
I'm nervous.
Perflux filters, Tarmac Sports, Firefly Speed Shop, Voodoo Vinyls, Moose Juice, Elite Transmissions, and Wax and Away. And scores drop in, and not as good as what we thought. Not as good as what we first thought. Yeah. Listen, impressive.
Not shabby.
Golden buzzer moment, but a 71 for Barker, score on the board. Be looking to improve that. We go back to the line to Farrar, the policeman.
This is it.
This is the car.
This is the car that I got a spinning yesterday, and I tell you what, I've never had so much fun in ages. Brilliant fun.
Well, the most fun you can have with your clothes on, somebody told
Pretty
me
much,
before.
yeah.
There we go, off the line, Farrar sends it into that first outside zone. And this man, well, he told me he would win this event. You know why? Because this is his local track. If you've come here before to witness drifting, Farrar will be the man driving around in the Nissan Laurel Taxi. But he is looking a little bit rocked right now because that was a scrappy transition as Farrar gets on the accelerator as he makes his way into Luna. On that part of the circuit, it gets nice and deep into the outside zone, and Farrar finds his groove. And the Sheriff stands on the throttle and takes it across the line.
It's not the most breathtaking
No.
run we've seen from Carl, but not a bad run anyway. I think
It's not bad, but it's lacking. It was lacking a little bit of impact for me.
It's lacking a bit of dango.
Yeah, and fluidity. It lacks some fluidity.
Yeah, Gentleman's Drift Club. This guy.
Yeah, what would Dango do right now? Well, he's going to have to think about what he just did on that qualifying run as the score drops in.
And it's probably not as great as we would have hoped. It's a 53, but that is still not a bad score to have on your first run. Hopefully we'll see him come back a little bit stronger for the second run, because I know he's got potential for that.
So there we go. Up next on the line, it will be Ian Rutherford in this crazy supercharged V8 Nissan 200SX. And Ian Rutherford, a self-employed building surveyor from Newcastle, Tyne-and-Wear.
He's from my ends as well.
It certainly is. M62 B44 supercharged, representing Tarmac Sports, Edge Treads and Standard Security. And this man long in the game as well, a lot of experience driving in the British Drift Championship, and that could all come to fruition this weekend as he makes his way around now. Rutherford just stalls up ever so slightly there. Looked like he was playing with a gear shift there, didn't get out to that outside zone. They get nice and deep into the final zone and across the line. And Ian Rutherford, yeah, Tarmac Sports representing on the side of that car.
Good run for me in there, but I think he's got a little bit more potential. I think he's playing it a little bit safe there.
Yeah, I don't know if he was here. It was a tentative run, you know, for his first qualifying run. I see a lot of zeros. A 66 drops in there for Rutherford, so not bad. Gets him into the top 10 at the moment. And then we move it along to the first of the top 5 in the championship. Up first will be Willie Hanna. So Willie Hanna now sits on the line. Brand new livery for this weekend.
I love that wrap.
How long is it going to last? Willie Hanna can barely keep a car together for one event. I reckon by the end of this weekend that car's going to have to be re-wrapped as he comes off the line screaming through the gears. Does Hanna said he's feeling good this weekend. He's coming for it right now, but he gets shallow into the outside zone. Needs to work on it, and again shallow into outside zone 2. Willie Hanna though does fulfill outside zone 3. You can hear him really working that car. Big clutch kicks as Hanna comes down the highway to hell, fires into that outside zone. Now Hanna, you can see him off throttle for quite a long time there as he got that car set back up again for the final pull as they shift up a gear. And across the line goes Willie Hanna. Good run, technically, just lacked a little bit of impact for me.
Yeah, could have done with a bit of oomph.
Spice.
Yeah, spice, that's a good word.
Need a little bit of spice, need to sprinkle a little bit of heat on it.
Let's see what the judges think as we wait for their scores to drop in. Looks like it's going to be in the 60s, so we've got a score of 61, which isn't bad at all, but he's definitely got more potential. That was a little bit reserved from Willie Hanna.
Yeah, so there we go, a 61 for Willie Hanna up the line now. Paul Cunnington. Now again, this guy got on the podium this round last year. Can he do it again? Can he get himself back in the mix? He's 4th in the championship now. This is all to play for this weekend. This is where it could matter as he fires that car in nice and deep into outside zone 1. You can see him on the throttle nice and early because he just lift ever so slightly there. That car wash, it is downhill there. He's very deep though. This is looking good for Cunnington as we now switch it up to the drone shot. As they come down the middle of the track, you can see them front clipping points completely sacrificed that though. Didn't get the front of that car on that front clipping point. And now Cunnington has to work to get it back into them outside zones. Drops a wheel off the edge of the circuit and has to make a big adjustment on the steering. As Cunnington looks for the final zone and across the line he goes, Sarah.
That was a confident run from Paul Cunnington there. He hit clip 1 very well. That is downhill, you mentioned that. And I didn't realise that until I went out yesterday, and it actually is quite massively downhill. Yes. And it makes a big difference because it's actually pulling the car. You kind of controlling the car, but you're using the momentum as well to bring it downhill.
And the car's naturally going to wash down the hill, so
absolutely.
Hard work
69 for Paul Cunnington.
So yeah, 69 gets himself in the mix, and we move it along to this man now. We've spoke about him all day.
We have. He's the man who's back. Yeah,
Mr. King sits on the line. Josh King now representing Volino Tyres. On the back of that car, and JK Services as he comes through. He won this event last year. Can he do it again? Big initiation from King as he looks for the outside zone. You can see that car downhill, wash through the outside zone. Very deep he goes. He's looking tasty from Josh King right now as he puts the hammer down. Look at the way he makes that car flow. Very shallow transition through the middle of the circuit. Just what judges want to see. Will on the edge of the track from King as he squeezes the accelerator and unleashes all the power from that turbo BMW engine as King fires through that final zone and across the line, and he's a confident man. He looks confident.
He's beyond confident this weekend. He means absolute business. It's all riding on this foam, really, isn't it? I mean, he's back. That is what we wanted to see.
That's what you want to see, yeah.
Absolutely what we wanted to see from him.
Representing Muswell Motorsport and PO Performance JK Services, he said he can make owl noises with his tongue, but can he top qualifying? Big score start to drop in. Can King take qualifying in the first run? And there we go, a 92 takes Josh King to first place, representing Team Fast R as well. So Josh King with a 92, he just tips over the edge. And we go back to this man. He must be tired, drained, physically and emotionally right now. Sitting on the line, Martin Cowley. He wants it. He wants this championship. He's sitting second in the points at the moment. He needs a win. He needs to be on the top step of this podium this weekend, or to take King out early in the championship to make it work. What's Martin Cowley got as he comes off the line? Team locked and loaded. The machine is from Rushton, Northamptonshire. 2JZ, 540 horsepower under the bonnet, as he gets nice and deep into outside zone 2. Oh, but he sacrifices 3. Big mistake there from Cowley. He needs to be fluid. He needs to think about what he's doing right now. Every single point that these guys score this weekend is going to count. 5 points separating the top 3 drivers. As Cowley, you can hear him working that car into the outside zone, squeezes the hammer to the floor and unleashes all the power for those extreme tyres, and across the line Cowley goes.
Brilliant run from Cowley. He is another confident driver. Little wobble at the beginning there, but the rest of the run was pretty strong, so we'll see what the judges think of the scores. But like you said, Ian, every single point is going to count today for all these guys.
Yeah, certainly is. And he would have sat on the line. His spotters would have just said, Josh King just top qualifying, like, you need to go out there and put it all on the line. But low scores coming in, dropping that outside zone, making a few mistakes throughout the run, and a 65 drops in there for Cowley. So work to be done. And we move it along to the final driver, the first half of the runs. This guy sits on the line with all the pressure, all the anticipation, and everything to play for right now. Louis Edwards sits on the line, the 17-year-old apprentice mechanic from Wrexham, North Wales, in a BMW E36 M3 3.2 Evo under the bonnet, representing All Italia. Wrexham Learn to Drift, King Automotive. What has he got as he flicks that car in? And the man, Mr. Consistent, the line driver of the year. Can he put it all out there? Can he top qualifying? Can he take King down? Well, he's looking good so far as he dials big angle on it on the outside zone 3. Comes through the middle of the circuit. Look how far he is into this outside zones. This is what I'm talking about when I say he's consistent. Look at the car on the edge of the track. Judges applauding. Louis Edwards already, as Edwards squeezes the throttle and pulls that BMW around the final 2 zones. We're going to make some noise for Louis Edwards, and your championship points leader at the moment, Sarah. That is why he's sitting at the top of the table.
That is, it's clear to see, isn't it, why? When we said at the beginning today, we said he is a consistent driver. He shows he's a technical driver as well. Wet or dry weather, it doesn't faze him. He deserves these points, he really does.
He certainly does. And what does he do right now? Scores waiting to drop in from our judges deliberating this one. This has championship contendencies in it right now.
It really does. I'm nervous to see what his score's going to be, because is this going to top the qualifying?
I think line driving alone, I think the technical side of that was way up
amazing.
there. Way
Absolutely
up there.
Amazing.
Oh wow, look at this, and a big score starts dropping in already. Can he top qualifying? Can he knock Josh King off of top place in qualifying? Here we go, one more score to drop in, and there we go! A 94 for Louis Edwards as he tops qualifying in his first qualifying run. Absolutely incredible.
Incredible indeed. I mean, that is exactly why he's up there as the top scorer so far. He's fantastic to watch.
Well, there we go. And to tell you what, we said we was going to bring fireworks. We said there's going to be a fight on everybody's hands this weekend, and there certainly is, as we get ready to fire these guys around one more time. Wigan, you still there? You having fun? Yeah, you're having fun. I'm having fun. Sarah, you having fun?
Yeah, I'm always having fun.
Always having fun.
I'm always having fun.
Well, there we go. As you can see on the line, ready to rock and roll, it will be Nick Seward for his first qualifying run. I hope I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
Is that right? Do you reckon that's right?
Yeah, I'll go
with that. Go with that. We'll flow with that one. In this incredible car. Now, if you've witnessed this, if you've seen it in the paddock and you thought, what is this? Well, let me tell you.
It's unreal.
It's unbelievable.
What a machine.
Yeah, Charlie's Customs and Classics, I do believe, built this car. I'm going to go back to my notes and just to check that. There's a JZ powered E-Type Jag. That's right.
I'm a bit of a purist, right? But that is awesome. That is really cool. It's so different and unique.
Yeah, 450 horsepower, one JZ under the bonnet in this E-Type Jaguar. Look at that as he fires it in. And this, he said this is his BDC debut. Oh, but problems with that car. I know they split the inlet manifold in practice on Friday, and I know he's been having some problems as well today. Car looked like it was flying earlier.
It did.
And let me tell you, that this car was immaculate until we came to BDC because it's took on quite a lot of damage. Ladies and gentlemen, looks like he has got issues with that car. As he comes past you, please show your appreciation to the guys that put this car together and for bringing it out. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Get your hands in the air so he can see you. These guys can see your appreciation. Give him a round of applause. What a machine.
Absolutely fantastic.
What an
machine.
absolutely incredible piece of machinery to bring round here at BDC. And look, if you're a fan of drifting, you've seen it online, but to see it in the flesh, for me, that's the first time I've seen it up close. What a piece of equipment.
Me too. I mean, I love that kind of car is right up my street. That's what I'm more used to, working with that sort of
old stuff.
Type of vehicle. Yeah, older stuff. You know, British kind of stuff as well. So this to see it with that engine in is it's awesome.
Insane. So there we go. We need to make that official. It will be a 0. So unfortunately there for Nick, that will be the end of his weekend. We move it along to Paddy Byrne, who sits on the line now. He also scored a 0 on his first qualifying run. So work to be done now as the team legless driver comes off the line.
Let's hope he can put in a stronger run than his first.
Very deep. I could just hear the judges over my shoulder. I held my breath a little bit there because I didn't know where that was going to go. But Paddy Byrne making it work. He does sacrifice outside zone 3. You can see there that unnatural line pops a wheel fully over the curb there on the inside of the circuit. Sacrifices that inside clipping point now. But Byrne just looking to put a clean pass in the circuit and get himself a score on the ball. Big angle dialed on. Can he hold on to it? He certainly can. As he comes round the final clipping point and across the line goes Paddy Byrne, and he'll be happy with that. He
will. It's great to see him actually get a completed run in there and hopefully get a score on the board. Whether it's enough to keep him in the top 32, I don't know, but fingers crossed for him.
Fingers crossed for him, certainly indeed.
And it's not looking too bad so far.
So scores dropping in. It looks like he will have a score on the board at the moment. Is it enough to keep him in? Oh wow, he's hanging on by the skin of his teeth.
44 maybe.
44 and 31st position at the moment. So this will be it. This is where we see guys unfortunately bow out of competition.
That's it.
And the end of their weekend. Up next, Jamie Stanton sits on the line. So Jamie Stanton comes off the line for his first qualifying run. Sorry, his second qualifying run. He's already done one. Getting a little bit confused there. Getting all excited with myself. So it looks like a nice opposite flick there for Stanton. 2019 Drift Cup champion. Oh, drops a wheel though, and that puts him offline. So he certainly just messed up that line into outside zone 2. The Team Map Motorsport driver makes his way through the centre of the circuit now as he fires into that outside zone, stands on the throttle down. Stanton looking cool, calm and collected at the moment as he makes his way into those final 2 outer zones. And Stanton bringing it across the line, and he'll be happy with that one. He'll be happy with that. 2 good runs, and earn himself a spot in BDC for the foreseeable future.
Definitely. He's a guy you can tell he's definitely had some seat time in that car. It's one of those cars that isn't high powered in drift terms. He's got about 300 horsepower, and he's definitely had some seat time. He knows how to drive it, and he's dropping in there with a 51. So his first run was a little bit higher, leaving him 22nd.
Yeah, 22nd. Yeah, it's 57 on his first and a 51 on his second. So Stanton in the show for the weekend. Up next on the line it is Chrissy Nayland. So Chrissy Nayland in this NHP Motorsport E36 BMW. 2JZ under the bonnet. It was a G, so it was a naturally aspirated engine and slapped a turbo on the side just for that little bit more horsepower. Why not?
Just for the crack.
If you can, you can.
If in doubt, turbo.
If in doubt, just put a turbo on the side of a 2JZ, fine. So not a problem there for Chrissy Nayland as he comes around, because that big clutch kick flick initiation gets in it nice and early. That's a very tidy line there for Chrissy Nayland now as he starts to work his way into those outside zones. He knows where he went wrong last time. He wasn't deep enough on outside zone 3, and he makes it work this time. You can see how much you have to work the car from that drone shot, giving us all the angles as Nayland absolutely flying, does sacrifice an outside zone there as he gets in to the final part of the circuit now. Avoids dropping any more wheels off the edge of the track. Nice job there from Chrissy Nayland.
Has he done enough to keep himself in the championship?
Yeah, has he? That's the big question.
That is the question. He got not the greatest score on his first run, so hopefully he's bettered that, and it looks like he has the 58, which should keep him safe.
Yeah, he's in 22nd position at the moment, but we've got a lot of zeros and a lot of guys scoring low, so it could all change. We move back to the line. We do have Owen Atkinson, a 55 on his first qualifying run. He's happy, look at that. Giving the thumbs up, all ready to rock and roll in this crazy little Mazda MX-5. 1UZ under the bonnet, 4 litre, naturally aspirated, representing T-side, karting, drift nuts, IRP, shred sheds and moose juice. So the car is 6 years old now. The car's seen some drift in action, Sarah. It's been around.
Absolutely, but it's tried and tested.
It's tried and tested, yeah. So right now, Atkinson making his way down the fastest part of the circuit, and he's going to be wanting to use all of the power that he's got. Atkinson vowed to not put the power of this car on there. I'm going to say it's way down the order. He's a little bit embarrassed about it.
Oh, is he not? Is he keeping it a secret?
Keeping it a secret.
Well, it's not all about power, and he's showing that.
Yes,
again,
exactly.
Seat time's coming into it. He knows that car well. It's tried and tested. Why change anything?
Exactly.
It obviously
don't change what's not broken, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So there we go. Scores dropping in for Owen Atkinson. Oh, and there we are. A second score, not as good as his first. He stays where he is in 24th position. So he's got a 49 on his second qualifying run, and we move it along to this man, Matt Roberts, on the line. So from the Army Parachute Regiment, so this might serve in his time representing us and keeping us all safe, Sarah.
Yes.
Keeping us all safe.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, from Wrexham in Wales, BMW E36 S50B30 under the bonnets. And I just got a message from Trevor Farman, the commentator from Drift Cup. Thanks for attending in the house. He said he's having problems with the O2 sensors, this car giving false readings and making it hard to drive. And so Matt Roberts right now is, you know what, if you see him deep in them zones and the judges applauding, that means he's really working. He's putting it all out there. And I know Roberts really badly wants to be in the BDC, and he wants to prove himself as a driver, and he's doing just that right now. As you can see, Roberts getting himself nice and wide into the outside zone. Hammer down for Roberts as he represents Excess Wraps, EBC Brakes, Drift Fab, Samco Sport, BMW Racing Parts and Dorenza. And I just looked at his information and it says, we sent Ian Waddington all this info. That was a waste of time, because I tell you what happened to that is I forgot all about it.
Well,
there we go.
Any good?
So he sits outside the competition at the moment. Can he get himself in the fight and in his first BDC round? He certainly can.
66.
Jumps up to 14th position with a 66. And Darryl delivers, raises the roof, and so do the rest of the crew. They're supporting him as we move along now to this man, Mark Chapman. Mark Chapman sits on the line with no information, zero information. He says, don't want anyone to know about me, don't want anyone to know how old I am, where I'm from, or what I'm doing. Right now as the Matt Motorsport driver. Oh, it sounds like big problems.
It does. I was going to say he's already in the danger zone as well. He got a reasonably low score in his first run, so that it kind of all comes down to this.
Yeah, I mean, Chapman, yeah, look, oh, he's pulled off circuit.
Pulled off circuit, yeah, so unfortunately he's got problems with that car.
Yeah, so Chapman scored a 37 on his first qualifying run. I'm going to tell you right now, that is not enough to get himself inside top 32 competition. There we go, he was in 34th. He scores a 0 on a second run, so that means he is out of competition. What a shame.
It's such a shame. I mean, you know yourself, the effort, the time, the blood, sweat and tears these guys put into these cars, and the girls.
Yep. Yeah, the family, everyone.
It's a family affair.
It's a family affair, yeah.
And you get here to attempt to qualify and don't make it. It's
exactly
such a
that.
shame.
We go back to the line. We do see Luke Tramner now. He sits on the line, quiet, calm, and reserved in this little S13.
Yeah.
And Tramner be looking to better his score again. He scored a 35, so he's outside of competition. So he needs to put it all on the line. Luke Tramner, 28-year-old from Driffield in East Yorkshire. Is that right? Driffield. Yep.
Yep.
S13, RB25, 470 horsepower, representing Firefly Speed Shop. A nice line there for Tramner as he gets into the outside zone, but yeah, he's going to come up a little bit short there. Needs to let that car wash, or maybe try and extend it ever so slightly, but just couldn't make it work. As Tramner comes flying down, he's going to have to use a lot of handbrake to get into that outside zone. And Tramner very often on throttle, not a fluid movement, you know, doesn't look very fluid. It's not easy.
Yeah,
you
doesn't
know?
flow
no.
as well as you'd want it to. Although he has hit a lot of those clips there, which is great, but like you say, it's not the kind of, you know, flowing run that you'd want.
No, exactly that. So that's going to be down the order once again for Tramner, I do believe, unfortunately. The score's dropping in, and here we go. Could be just enough.
Could be just enough.
Could be just enough. And there we go, 31st place and an awkward, and he's got a lot of anticipation now, or wait now to see what happens. 31st place with a 49. So we move it along to Mike Lardner now. Mike Lardner sits on the line. Thumbs up all round, ready to rock and roll for Mike Lardner, the mechanic from Lee Wigan. This is your local guy. What can he do right now as he comes off the line? RB25 under the bonnet, 400 horsepower. And Mike Lana saying, drove in BDC in 2015 and wanted to make a comeback. So here he is. And what can he do right now? Looking nice in there. Again, just looking like that car's a little bit. Oh wow!
Such a shame for him. He's trying so hard.
Do you know what? I was just looking at that run, thinking, just looks like that car lacks a little bit of power. Hand on the roof. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, as he comes past. Your local man putting on a show for you. Just looked to me like that car is either geared incorrectly or it's just not got enough power, because he was using this the third time I've seen him having to use the momentum of the car to get down that highway to hell. And he's in the show at the moment, 27th position with his first qualifying run, but his second run as a 0. We move it along to this man, who is outside of competition with 33, Paul Beachy. Paul Beachy needs to make it all happen. He said he's coming for it this weekend. He said he doesn't care about a car. He said he's got all the off-season to repair it. As I don't think he's going to be able to make Buxton, because he's got a little one on the way. It's due any day.
Any day now.
Any day that weekend, I do believe. So he says Buxton's a no-go for him. He could be in the bad books of his missus. And I said, no, you don't want to miss that. So Beachy right now needs to make this happen, as it looks like it is the final event for him this year. And he said he doesn't want to finish not on a high. Or can he qualify? As Beachy, do you know what? And you can hear it. You can hear he's angry.
Yeah, he's not happy with that, as you wouldn't be. I think I'd be a bit annoyed as well.
Yeah, look, do you know what? He's just looking scrappy from the initiation, and again, Beachy not having the best of years this year. That car just, new build for him. He had an S14 last year, and there we go, out of competition. 36th place for Paul Beachy, and he goes home an unhappy man, and not how he wanted to end the season.
No, absolutely not. Unfortunately, it does happen. It is very, very easy to get to spin these cars, oversteer, over-rotate, and end up in a spin. It's a lot of car control.
It's a lot easier to do that than it is to get it to go where you want it to go.
Yeah, exactly.
So off the line now, Darren Wiles, this man driving this car all on hand controls, and a bad initiation there from Wiles. And you know what, it's very wide there. This is going to be scrappy from Wiles. He's going to have to really put it together now to make this one work. And he initiated way too early on the middle of the track, and now it's completely throwing him off that line. As I mentioned earlier, this car running an LS3 V8 under the bonnet, car built by Jay's Garage, Jack Tonkin and the guys down there. If you get an opportunity to get in the paddock, go and meet Darren Wiles. Very nice guy, always happy. And they'll show you all around that car, show you exactly how it is. I do believe you push the handbrake lever forward to use the foot brakes, you pull it backwards to handbrake. You push a lever on it for the throttle. You push a button on the top to clutch kick. You squeeze a lever on the side of it to throttle. Wow, I mean, what a car. Absolutely. And there's buttons to change gear as well. So yeah, there we go. So yeah, look at that, 38th place. Wiles out of competition with a 19 on his second qualifying run. Unfortunately, at the end of the weekend, we're moving along to Andy Sykes now. Andy Sykes sits with a 55. So in the show, can he better it? Can he get himself higher up the order right now as he finds this SR20 powered S13 in? Just be looking to, get a nicer line as Andy Sykes makes his way through. Looking a little tentative from Sykes at the moment, just holding back ever so slightly, maybe, just not. You can see big use of handbrake there as he slows that car down as it comes into those final outer zones. And Andy Sykes, well, he says he's got the flare at the side of the car. Has he got the flare inside the car as he brings it across the line?
Yeah, not a bad run for Andy, but I have seen him stronger. However, the handbrake, you mentioned the handbrake, the big drag on the handbrake into that corner there, is that you can hear that car. You can hear the fact that he's kind of locking up those wheels and screeching down the track, and the judges aren't looking for big handbrakes, are they? No, look, you assume these guys are qualifying because we're looking for the best lead driver. So if a car comes flying down there and then handbrakes, well, we expect the guys. That is a decel zone. Yeah. So we're expecting guys decel, but not for that amount of time and not that much. Yeah. So if the judges, they're going to be looking for some. If you're chasing that, you don't expect someone to handbrake as much there, because you still want to carry the momentum into Luna. You've got to still get that outside line and fire it in. And Andy Sykes out. I missed his second qualifying score. Did you see? I missed it completely. No, we're chatting about it. Sorry.
Dan Tyler off the line, though, a 50 on his first qualifying run. And Dan Tyler gets himself around now. This guy, as I mentioned earlier, very good technical line driver. A 50 on his first qualifying run. Can he better that one? You can see again a little dab of the handbrake to extend it into the outer zone, as Tyler representing Team Locked and Loaded. One Jay-Z under the bonnet, representing AJD Recovery, Auto Works and Extreme Tyres. So Dan Tyler, did you get a score there for Andy Sykes?
I had a look, yeah, he's got a 39, so he didn't better his first score,
So he did better his first score, but so he stays where he is. Looks like Dan Tyler will, though, as you can see, representing Team Locked and Loaded, as Tyler's score drops in a 50 on his first. Where does he end up? 61, 19th position, much better on, off looking on today. We move it along to the next one, Ignis Minelga. Now this guy come out, and I thought, well, this is a contender, and we was very wrong.
We always are wrong.
We always are wrong. It's because we like the stuff that looks good.
Yeah,
we're not too worried about where they are on the track.
We're looking for the flamboyance, aren't we? That's what we're looking for.
Yeah, look at this nice initiation though from Ignis Minelga right now as he fires in. Nissan at 300 ZX. Not many of these seen around now, so he's driving around a bit of a rare car. There's a few purists out there wincing at the sight of Minelga as he fires that car into the outside zone. Look at that big commitment from Minelga as he bounces the car around the back edge of the circuit, very deep into the outside zone. Minelga looking to get himself way up the order right now as he looks for that final outer zone, and across the line goes Ignis Minelga.
Brilliant.
Again, a tidy job, and I'd say that's way up there in the order. But again,
we could be wrong.
Could be wrong.
It's been known, Ian. It's been known, but we could be wrong. Aegis is who we chased down yesterday.
Oh, really?
In Carl Farrar's car, yeah, we chased him. It was interesting. Apparently, I winced.
Well, there we go. Look at that, an 86 for Ignis.
So
and
yes, you were right.
See him move on. Yeah, top
well
4 position for him. And we move it along to the next guy, James Matheson, again jumping in that borrowed car of Andy Sykes. Andy Sykes' car doing double duty this weekend.
Son's car.
Sorry, my bad.
For once, I knew what was going on.
You knew what was going on there, Sarah. Yeah, sorry, Alistair Sutton's car doing double duty this weekend. As you can see, James Matheson making his way round in it, but fails to get to the outside zone. And you know what, Matheson again, reiterate what he said to me over yesterday was people think he can't drive anymore. He said, I can still drive, I can still pedal a car. I really want to get out there and prove to everyone 2020 is going to be my year. I'm back that S15 at the moment, getting a ton of work done and a lot of changes to it from where he imported it from Japan. He said, I'm going to come back in that car and I'm going to take the Pro-Am Championship. Now that's a confident man.
Absolutely, I want to see him in that car because I want to see him confident. That was a little bit tentative. I mean, probably naturally so if you're in a borrowed car, you're going to be kind of a little bit reserved.
Well, look at this. He sits on the drop zone. He's in 32nd position. So that's where the scores are at. You need a 48 or better to stay in top 32. So right now, Matheson waits eagerly. He doesn't better his score. It's going to be lower down. Yeah, 41. He stays where he is. So a dangerous wait there for James Matheson. And we move on to Stu Egdahl. He scored a 30 on his first qualifying run, so he's out of the show, Sarah.
He is. I mean, he's going to have to put in a really, really strong run now to claw anything back and hopefully get a place in the top 32, so he's going to be feeling the pressure. He
certainly is, and as I mentioned, Stu Egdahl will either come out and blow the doors off the car or he'll throw it all away. A nice initiation from Egdahl. Can he get deep into outside zone? He can't. He just catches it too late now as he finds himself back on that qualifying line. This was very scrappy last time from Egdahl. He seems to have tidied it up ever so slightly now. As you can see him getting nice and deep into those outside zones. He comes into the lunar part of the circuit, foot down as Egdahl squeezes the accelerator on that 2JZ and starts to navigate his way around. Looking tidy there, tidies up the rest of the run. And he needs a 50 ideally or better to get himself in the show this afternoon.
Absolutely, and it might have been a little bit too scrappy to get that score, but we shall see in a minute. The back end of the run did look pretty tidy, but let's let the judges make that decision. He's getting close to the 50, but I'm not sure if it's quite enough. I think he's going to drop in just below. Yeah.
I reckon he's going to take Matheson's place. Oh no!
34. Wow. So at the moment he is out.
So there we go.
Shame for Stu Egdahl.
So Stu Egdahl out of competition.
Chris Parnham.
Yeah, up next Chris Parnham. Yeah, he sits on a 0. So everything to play for right now for Chris Parnham, the mechanic from Wakefield in Yorkshire. RB25 under the bonnet, representing Crisp Tuning. He said he used this car at Eurodrift in 2007, and then he come back to do a Drift Cup. Been in Drift Cup for a few years now, and then found himself at the Birmingham NEC BDC round where he qualified and got himself into the show, gained himself a BDC Prime licence. And now Parnham looking a lot better. Looks like he's calmed himself down and got himself back in the zone as Parnham takes it across the line.
Is that going to be enough?
Is it going to be enough?
it
That
gonna
is
be
the big
enough?
question right now. That's the big question on everyone's lips.
Yeah. It
You
wasn't
need,
a
you
horrendous
need a
run.
50. Well, look at this from Parnham as he throws a 60 on the board right there.
Not a bad run at all. Is it going to be enough to keep him? Yes, it is. It's going to be enough to get him to 15th at the moment in qualifying, so that is just what he needed.
Yeah, 65 there for Parnham, gets himself in the show, and we move it along. Justinus Norcus now. Well, this guy, he literally threw it away earlier on.
He did, unfortunately.
Initiated, got himself on the marbles and put that car on the tyres. You
Unfortunately,
could
but
see him.
it's not what we're used to seeing from him.
No, very
What,
good. Well,
like-
look, like I said, practice earlier, he was flying, he was
Yeah.
on form. He really needs to pull it out of the bag now as Justinus Norcus comes off the line for his second qualifying run under the mechanic from Bedford. E36 4.4 V8 under the bonnet, 700 horsepower as he looks like he's going to make a run this time, but he's way off outside zone 2 and outside zone 3. And this is looking scrappy for Justinus Norcus right now. He needs to pull it together, but I think he's lost maybe too many points already to get himself a spot in the show. Qualifying this weekend, very, very tough, and judges demanding these guys to be on the limit to get into the show as Justinus Norcus takes it across the line.
It's great to see Justinus getting a run in a bit more like what we're used to seeing from him. Again, is it going to be enough to rectify the fact that he got a complete 0 in the first run? It's possibly not going to be enough. No,
it's not.
And
No,
that dropped him out
46.
46, putting him in 36th
Good assumption
position.
there as well. You was like, no, it's not enough. You know?
I didn't think it was,
No.
you know. Again, sometimes I can be right.
There we go. On the line, the Iceman, Andy Frost, sits on the line in that Fast R E92 BMW.
We can hear the fan club
I can
there.
hear
We
Tigger.
can hear the fan club.
Tigger, that is. I named her Tigger.
Is that a nickname now?
That is her nickname, yeah. Andy
I love
Frost's
it.
girlfriend.
I love the cheering.
Bouncing up and down, cheering for her man right now as he comes off the line in this incredible build. And what can the Fast R driver do as he fires into the outside zone? This guy, incredible line driving as he gets nice and deep into zones. Look at that, very technical. You can see the way he waits for that car to wash where he wants it to go. Gets back on the accelerator nice and early. And Frost absolutely flying, very committed as he gets into the outside zones now. Looks for the final couple of outside zones, puts that car right where it needs to be. As Andy Frost puts it together and takes it across the line. Incredible stuff there, arm out the window. He's happy. He's a very happy man.
He is one happy guy right now. Do you know what? He, after the look he's had, he just deserves this. I mean, he's been given a great opportunity with that E92. And
Oh, he certainly has.
He's just gelling with it so well. It's so wonderful to see that he's really
And
gelling
look at
with
this,
that car.
an 84 on his first. What does he get on his second?
87,
Oh, an
putting him
87.
in 4th position.
You can just
You
hear.
them. You can still hear them.
Can just
You
hear
still
Jenny
them,
there.
the fan club.
So there we go, we move it along now to Jamie Stevens, Andy Frost's teammates sits on the line in that borrowed car, as I mentioned earlier. This car, well, he said it costs as much as somebody's house, and what
Apparently.
Stevens got, Stevens needs to pull it out of the run. He scored a 0 on his first qualifying run. Oh, and he's already into it. Stevens fires nice and deep into outside zone 1. Can he get this car going? He certainly can. Nice and deep into 2. And Jamie Stevens has all the potential as a driver. He's just been plagued with car issues all year as he fires that car in. Now it starts to come together for him. As this secret works, S15 gets nice and deep into outside zones. And Stevens, you can hear him just tickling the accelerator now. He puts the hammer down, starts to smoke the Westlake tyres off the back of the car as the Team Fast R driver puts foot to floor, takes it across the line as Jamie Stevens puts a run in, and wow, that was holding on there. That was just holding on.
Absolutely, that was the Jamie Stevens we're more used to seeing. He will be so happy with that run after getting a 0 in his first. He's got to have scored enough points. He's got to be safe with that one.
Well, we'd like to assume so.
Absolutely,
We'd like to assume so.
absolutely. That was brilliant.
Yeah, 0 on his first qualifying run. What can Stevens do? As we can see a replay of this, look at this car, big angle, but he's very deep. He uses every inch of the track, just drops a wheel there. Stevens will get points deducted for that, but can he get himself inside the show? You know, you'd love nothing more than to be in top 32. And there we go, look at that, 65. He jumps himself into 17th position. And Jamie Stevens in the show, and both Fast R cars in the fight this afternoon. Move it off the line, Charlie Hume. He scored a 77 on his first qualifying run. This guy, Mr. Consistent, what can he do on his second qualifying run as he fires into outside zone 1? Looking cool, calm and collected is the young man. He said, I'm not a one-hit wonder. I'm in the championship to make it work. And he goes very deep into outside zone 3. And that unnatural line, Charlie Hume pulling it out the bag, fires through the middle of the circuit. You can see him dab the handbrake as he puts foot to floor. And now Charlie Hume works his way around, just 2 more final outer zones to now, and he gets very deep into that one. He looks for the final one and brings it across the line, and Charlie Hume looking super consistent.
He is. He's definitely Mr. Consistent, isn't he? He's absolutely stormed BDC this year. Well, I say this year.
He's
only
2 rounds.
Second
two
round.
rounds. 2 rounds.
Yeah. And he's gone from Drift Cup to BDC into
Well, he
Pro.
sits in 7th place at the moment. A big score coming in, and an 81 puts him in, stays where he is in 7th place, and a good score there for Charlie Hume. And we move it along to Danny Maguire. Danny Maguire off the line and ready to rock and roll in this secret performance. R34 Nissan Skyline, and as I said earlier, Danny Maguire said he's feeling confident. The car looking good. He feels very, very comfortable. And look at the way he just flicks that car from left to right on that transition as he looks for the outside zone. The big wing just blowing all the smoke up in the air right now. And this is fast for Maguire. He's carrying a lot of speed through the circuit. As Maguire sets that car a big angle, almost gets himself in trouble there as Maguire puts the foot down, cheers up, shifts up a gear and drags it across the line.
Another very confident run from Maguire. So he got a 69 in his first run. Is he going to better that this time?
Yeah, the gym owner from Wigan.
You can tell he's a gym owner.
You can't, can you?
I wouldn't want to get in a fight with him.
He's a very handsome young man,
He's
let
a
me
bit
just tell you
hench.
that. He's very handsome, it's Danny
He
Maguire.
is,
Look at
he
that
is.
smile. So he sits at 11th place at the moment, and another big score dropping in, and there we go,
Moves
at
him up to
72.
10.
Yeah, 10th place there for
Very well
Maguire.
deserved.
So Lewis Baker sits on line 61. His first qualifying run. The showman likes to put a show on, likes to drive on big angle. Well, now's the time to do it. He's got a good score on the board. Now's the time to prove to the judges what you got. As he comes through at first and second outside zone, but he completely misses it. He throws it on big angle, stalls the car up, it makes it work. As you can see him kicking the clutch on that car, and you can see the car working, trying to get himself back on that qualifying line. As Baker, you can hear that car really stall up, and you have to hear him work it. Judges going to be listening to that, knowing that he's not using all the potential of the car that's there as he takes it wide and across the finish line. Lewis Baker putting in 2 good runs, though. Two good runs.
2 good runs. Not flawless, but very good. And I think they're going to keep him safe.
Yeah,
He's in-
RB25
he's in-
under the
yeah.
bonnet there.
He's in 22nd at the moment. What is this?
Yeah, not as good.
Gonna
Not
check.
as
Yeah,
good
he's
for
coming
Baker.
A little bit lower than his first run. Giving him a 58. We're sticking in 20 seconds, so that is not bad.
Not bad, no,
Not
he's in the
bad.
show. Up next, Dominic Gates, Diamond Dom, the jeweller from West Sussex. In that borrowed car, RB25, under the bonnet, 400 horsepower. I gave this man my ring the other day.
Did you?
Yeah, my wedding ring, I broke it. And he said to me,
Oh,
don't worry buddy,
I
I've got
remember
you,
that.
I'll get it fixed. Yeah, bad accident that was. It was a bad accident. So up next, Dominic Gates makes his way round. Good line so far. It's Gates, you can see him working that car. You can see him come off throttle there quite abruptly. Judges will be looking at that one. And he gets back into it as Gates fires that car on angle, looking for that final out zone. And across the line. And Gates is 64 in his first qualifying run, so he's going to get himself in the show. He's going to be, moving himself. He's going to be way down the order now because score's jumping up. Well, I say way down the order. He's still in 19th position. It looks like a similar score. That makes that man dangerous. Consistent driving is dangerous.
Absolutely.
And Dominic Gates ends up with a 61, stays where he is in 19th position, and we move it along to Paulius. No, it's not going to be. We're going to jump for Ashley Jones now. Paulius Judicious Meese in his qualifying runs. And Ashley Jones comes off the line for his second qualifying run at DKM E36 BMW. And looking tidy right now is Ash Jones. Ashley Jones looking very nice. The production manager from Mansfield. 1UZ under the bonnet, V8. Toyota engine, making 400 horsepower, representing DKM and Tri-Ace. Finished top 5 in the Drift Cup, giving him the opportunity to come to the BDC. And Ash Jones looking very good out there right now as he finishes up that run. Again, getting that nitrous working for this event. Said he was struggling before.
It looks like he's not struggling now. He's doing a decent run there. Again, he's quite a consistent driver. Oh, his score's kind of popped in and popped out the screen now. I wonder if
Did we miss it?
just
Was it
get
that
those
quick?
back.
Was it
Maybe it was just super quick.
It was super
Hold on.
quick. Have a look,
We'll see if
Sarah.
we
On
can get
our,
those.
oh, there we go. No, a 69. So a
back there we
69
go.
in 12th position
12th position. Perfect.
for Ash Jones. And we move it along
The young gun,
Will Gibbs. Yeah, look, we spoke about this guy earlier on, saying good young talent. He just needs to prove himself in the championship. He's way down the championship at the moment. I say way down, you know, he's probably halfway through all the drivers, but
He's got
Will
so
Gibbs,
much potential.
so much potential as a driver, and like I said earlier, he's got the car and he's got the talent. It just needs to all click for Will Gibbs, and I think once that clicks,
Yeah, just needs to fall into place.
he's going to be
doesn't
dangerous.
it?
He's going to be very
I think
dangerous.
he is, yeah. Definitely one to watch for the future.
Well, look at this, very far. Oh, but Gibbs gets it all wrong. Gibbs gets it very, very, very wrong.
Did we just curse that?
It was me. Now I'll take full responsibility for that. If you just want to send me the invoice at the end of the weekend, it's fine. As you said, he had so much potential. He was flying. He was carrying a lot of speed in that transition.
He was. I think he's just come off slightly.
I think
it could have been the gravel. It could. I think it's
I think
possibly
the car ever so slightly understeered, but as
Yeah.
it went off the track, Jesus, it was like the rear wheels were off of the ground.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
He had the speed, didn't he, at the time he came off? So unfortunately, once you kind of hit the grass, you're just a passenger. It drags you in, doesn't it?
Yeah, look, the grass is still damp here. We walked on it earlier, and everyone's saying that, you know, if you get on that, you drop a wheel on it, it is game over because the car is gone, and there's nothing you can do. Look at this, transitions. Does he catch a little bit of understeer? No, he just transitions too wide. Look at that, back wheel's off the ground, and that's where it all goes wrong. And as he gets himself into the tyre bale.
Luckily, it was just the tyres.
Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, as he comes past you. Will Gibbs putting his life and car on the line for your entertainment. And there we go. He's in the show. He's in the show. He's qualified in 20th place, so they're going to have to go back now and have a look at that car, get it repaired. And Will Gibbs. A lot of potential in that young man.
But anyone can make an error, and that's unfortunately what happens. I'm glad he's driving away from it, and it doesn't look like the car's too damaged.
We don't need recovery.
That's
that's
it.
thing.
And it
that's
looks like just cosmetic damage to Will's car there, hopefully. And we'll just let our marshals pop the tyres back into place.
If anything, his pride is hurt more than the car.
Probably so. I would say you're probably right with that.
But you either go hard or you go home, Sarah.
Well, that's it. That's it. You've kind of got to go full send, otherwise
you've got to go.
You're going to be just driving in a straight line.
Of course, yeah.
So we'll let the marshals cut the tyres
just
back
wait
in
for our
place.
marshals, and obviously while we've got 5 minutes, I'd like to thank our sponsors, because without those, this wouldn't be possible. Me and Sarah wouldn't get this opportunity to sit here and talk hours in your ear rolls. So we'd like to massive thank you to Hell Performance, who again are in attendance here at the track, doing brake lines, making lines up for the guys driving this weekend, all for free.
I know.
So if you're a driver,
if
you're a driver and you break something, you go down to Steve and he'll repair it, or he'll make a new one for free. And obviously, if you need something done, he's got all the machinery in-house to make it. He's got a good line of products. Go and have a look. A big thank you to M-Tech Brakes, On It, Funk Motorsport, AM Details, Samco Sport, Yellow Speed Racing, Excite Energy, Simpson, OBP, Corbo, Tarmac Sports, Competition Clutch and Slide Motorsport. Like I say, without those guys, we wouldn't be able to put on this live stream, we wouldn't be able to put on these events and bring you guys all this entertainment.
Absolutely. The sponsors are so important and so appreciated by all the drivers and all the team, really.
They certainly are, yeah. And don't forget, if you've got some money in your pocket to spend this weekend, get down to the British Drift Championship merchandise tent alongside the Hell Performance one. You can spend some money there. If not, take a little wander, just a couple of feet more. Yeah. You've got the Drift Games tent there, them guys selling Hoonigan and Drift Games merchandise. And opposite there, we've got the Walton Motorsport tent, obviously selling a lot of performance products.
Shiny
stuff. Plenty of places this weekend to spend your money.
Definitely. You could go shopping.
You could go shopping this weekend. So it looks like we are ready to go with the next driver off the line. It will be Lee Lawrence. So Lee Lawrence comes off the line for his second qualifying run of the day. As Lee Lawrence gets himself into that outside zone 3 now, navigates his way through the circuit. Lawrence scored a 59, and we said it didn't look like the normal Lee Lawrence. And you know what, for me, I think he's dialed a little bit of grip out of that car. Because look at the tyre smoke now. That car was not doing that last time. I think Lawrence gripped that car up miles too much.
Yeah.
He realised that he made a big error and he sacrificed a qualifying run just for it now as Lawrence brings it across the line.
I think, do you know what? I was chatting to Lee yesterday and he did mention a little issue with some tyres.
There we go.
So this could be, your theory could be right.
I'm
going to go and grill him a bit later on.
Go grill him, go find out, get the news story. There we go, score dropping in for Lee Lawrence, and it will be a 60, so he stays where he is in 25th position. Moving along to Rob Johnson. I said he looked like a man possessed in the car. Well, he looks like a wild man out of the car right now as he comes screaming down there. The Portsmouth man fires that 1.5 JZ S14 into the outside zone. You know what? I thought that was all going to go wrong there for Rob Johnson. It looked like the car stalled up massively, but he did get back into it. And a nice transition in the middle of the circuit keeps that car just about on the edge of the track there. Will almost dipped onto the dirt. And Rob Johnson flying right now as he puts foot to floor and fires through them final two outside zones. The plant manager for Portsmouth, representing Aqua Garage, Pro Tuner, A-Plant, Hell Performance and Washloo, and member of that team, Washloo, will see his teammates out in a little bit in the pro practice. Looks like a consistent score dropping in though for Rob Johnson.
Yeah, he's a pretty consistent driver in general, so this is one to watch again. 63, which puts him in 20th. So he is in the show this afternoon. Next up we have Maciek. 48 he got.
Go for it, go for the last name, go for it, go on, go for it.
Blazkowski.
Blazkowski, I normally say.
Okay.
I think that's how it is.
All right, I'm going to go and check with him. Don't like to insult people.
Don't want to insult his family name.
Yeah.
No, Blazkowski right now makes his way in a nice committed line into outside zone 2. As Blazkowski gets into 3, looking much more confident this time, a lot less steering inputs. As he comes flying down the middle of the track there, a little dab of the hammer, you can see him slow that car down and picks the wheel up off the floor as he dials that much grip in and squeezes the throttle once again. You can see the front of that car lifting up. I mentioned earlier, this man comes alive in twin battles. He looks like he's alive right now. He fires for the outside zone. Incredible stuff there for Maciek.
Unbelievable run. He is such an entertaining
Well,
driver
he needed
to watch.
that.
He did need that.
He needed that because he was outside. Look, 35th place at the moment. What is he going to get in his second qualifying run, Sarah?
It's got to be higher than his first run, I think, from where I'm sat.
I'm inclined to agree with you. I'm inclined to agree. I'm going to say it's going to be much higher than a 48. Wow, look at this from Blazkowski. As the score drops in, second qualifying run scores him way up the order in 4th place, an 88.
Brilliant. That is.
That's
what
how
we
you
used to
save
see from
yourself.
Maciek. Yeah, that is definitely saving yourself.
Well, this man, I pipped him to be one of the top contenders this weekend. Off the line, Stephen Fitzgerald, a 90 on his first qualifying run. He texted me a minute ago and said, all to play for. Oh, wow, he snapped the wheel clean off the car.
Oh, my goodness.
And that is what happens when you text the commentator and said, watch this. He literally messaged me and said, I'm going for it. I'm going all out for this one. Watch this.
He was going full send.
Well, I was watching it, Fitzgerald, but unfortunately that is not. Look at the state of that.
Horrendous. That is not what he needed. I mean, his first one was really, really strong. Hopefully that's enough to keep him if he can get this car repaired.
Well, there's a short break. There's a short break between end of qualifying and top 8. So look at this. Look, he's just got 2 wide. Look at that lip of that concrete. Snap that wheel clean off. Look at the way he was still on throttle. That's done a lot of damage.
That is going to have done a lot of damage.
Look, I know he is pitting with the guys from Secret Performance, Danny Maguire, Paul Cunnington. I know he's over there pitted alongside them. Very good friends. I know he's got a lot of Irish friends with him as well this weekend here. And I know Fitzgerald is going to be needing every hand on that car to try and fix that and get himself out for top 32.
He's got a great team.
I don't know, I think that's done a lot of damage.
It has done a lot of damage. I mean, can you imagine those wheels are spinning whilst it hit that concrete?
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to
and not only that, but he got back on the throttle when that wheel was snapped off because you see it spinning. So that means that's done a lot of damage to the drive shaft, the differential.
Yeah,
wow.
That could have done some serious. I mean,
lucky it never dug in. It's lucky it never dug in and put the car on its side.
I know.
That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I've seen a little curve like that throw a car over completely. So we was very lucky we didn't see Fitzgerald test out the structural integrity of his roll cage this weekend.
Absolutely. I'm glad we didn't need to see that.
Well, I mean, he's way out the order in qualifying, and as you can see on this big screen, and you guys in attendance, you can see Matt House down there, and I do believe Matt House might be sticking that microphone in the cockpit of that car in a minute, and we'll see what the Irishman says. Matt's smiling. So we can try to get down there with the camera and get right in the nitty-gritty of it, and it just looks like we're waiting to hear from... Look at that, snap the drive shaft, as I said, snap the coil over, all the arms, and... Matt House down there with Fitzgerald.
What happened? Came in too fast.
Oh no, so it looks like we may have lost a little bit of sound there for Matt, unfortunately. And I think Fitzgerald may be blaming the handbrake. You can see him pull the handbrake lever and saying something to Matt about that, so potentially we could have lost the handbrake.
Oh, wow.
So there we go. Yeah, look at that. Absolutely destroyed. You can see it's ripped all the arms off the hub and the back of that car. Absolutely destroyed. If you're a driver now, if you're a pro driver watching, or if you're in attendance and you're part of a crew and you think you may be able to help out Stephen Fitzgerald, it looks like he's running a stock Nissan rear hub potentially. If you've got parts, do you know what? real nice of you if you could go down there and help
Would
that
be
man
ever
out, because
so
I tell you
nice.
what, Stephen Fitzgerald is such a nice man, and he comes with his wife and his children. They come together. It's a family affair. I know he's not got a lot of team with him, but I say he's pitting with the guys from Seeker Performance down in the paddock. Yeah, look, if you're in attendance and you can help this man out, I tell you what, get down there and give him some help.
Yeah, I mean, it looks awful, doesn't it? But I mean, fingers crossed that they can just pull something out of the bag, and hopefully he can get back out. All we can do is sit and hope for him at the minute.
Yeah, look, I mean, that's what, like I say, that's what happens when you text, when you message. He messaged me and said, "Watch this." Literally, I've got nothing to lose. I'm going for it, and yeah, he definitely went for it.
Oh, he
Sarah,
went for it.
he went for it.
Do you know that the worst bit? If he didn't have that lip of concrete, he'd have probably been all right there. It's just one of those things, isn't it? Unfortunately, wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it happens.
Yeah, if he was a foot further into the track, he'd have just made it round. Yeah, he's just hit that little lip of concrete, and it's unfortunately done the damage.
So there we go. We wait for Fitzgerald to get that car recovered, and we'll almost be ready to kick off. We're on a few drivers left to go before the end of qualifying. You can see Fitzgerald on the phone there to his pit crew, trying to see if they can get some parts in the mix and ready to go. And just a couple of weeks, we head to the final round at Buxton Raceway, Sarah.
I can't believe we're talking
3
about
days.
the final.
3 days of mayhem. Not only that, we go into the night. These guys are going to be drifting under the floodlights.
This is going to be really, really cool.
Saturday night is a huge, huge party. Everyone's invited to come along and celebrate.
What that means.
What does that mean?
I'm gonna pretend that I'm on it, and then I'm gonna sneak off to bed.
No, you're not.
What I'm gonna do, because I'm an absolute
If anyone
wimp.
sees Sarah Hall trying to sneak out about having an end of year drink. But don't forget, on the Sunday we have a serious event. I'm not going to give too much away, but I'm just saying that we are literally throwing it all out there. There's a lot of money, there's a lot of parts, there's a lot of prizes to be won that weekend, and it is a winner takes all event. Anyone can walk into that competition that weekend and take it all. And I've seen a test video from the other weekend when they went and tested at Buxton in a couple of the Slide Motorsport cars. Let me tell you, it is fast.
Yeah.
You're on top of the action, so you think you're close now. Get yourself to Buxton. You are literally standing on the wall next to the cars. Incredible stuff.
Can't wait. I just can't believe we're talking about the final already. Where has the season gone? It's just absolutely flying by.
I mean, if that's not enough for you, if one more event's not enough for you, don't forget there's also the the Matsuri event. The Matsuri event going on at Anglesey Circuit on the 26th and 27th of October. Matsuri all weekend. You want to get down and meet a lot of these guys, grassroots drivers or pro drivers. They do a night battle. It goes into the night. You see a lot of our BDC drivers out there putting on drift demos under the floodlights. I'll be commentating on it. We're having some fun. There's a big surprise coming for that event as well. I can't say anything just yet. I know a lot of secrets. I know a lot of secrets, and I can't let them out, which hurts. It hurts me a little bit because I'd love to tell you guys. But yeah, there's a big announcement coming soon from the guys at Matsuri, and they'll be putting that out there soon. Let me just tell you, it's going to be pretty special. It's going to be a big party. It's going to be pretty special. There's going to be some nighttime drifting. 2 days, yeah. Get yourself down there, 26th and 27th of October, the Winter Matsuri Anglesey Circuit in Wales. Brilliant place. It's pretty chilly. Let me just tell you, you might want to take your BDC hoodie.
Or you want to take your BDC hoodie and the beanie.
And the beanie. So while you're here, why don't you go over, grab one, and prepare yourself for Buxton and Matsuri. So there we go. So yeah, get yourselves along to both of those events. Obviously, the Winter Matsuri going on in 26th and 27th of October, and incredible event. Like I say, you see all of our BDC Pro and Pro-Am drivers all out on track doing drift demos. You can meet them, get passenger rides. Incredible weekend, and the final round, the final, Sarah.
I can't believe we're at the final.
It's done. The year of drifting is almost done.
And we still have no idea what's going to happen. And we said this at round one. Literally everything to play for at every round. We can't predict what's going to happen. We've tried our best. And every time someone comes in and completely throws the championship into disarray.
And that could happen today.
I think
it's not done yet. I think it could happen yet. So there we go. On the line now, Stu Jones pulls up. We have got Fitzgerald's car recovered off the circuit. And does look like we are ready to rock and roll with the rest of our qualifying. Not the best, the rest of our qualifying. As Stu Jones pulls to the line, a 75 on his first qualifying run. Sees him inside competition. You can see our start line Marshall Malks there, just waiting for the track to be clear, and we're all safe and good to rock and roll. And full Stu, well, he'll try and top qualifying right now as he comes off the line in this crazy 1UZ 4 litre V8 turbo S14. And a big clutch kick initiation. You can see he's going to use all the track. Oh, another guy who drops a wheel on the edge of the circuit. That's a dangerous place to be now.
Held my breath then.
That could be a contender. That part of the circuit, we were saying there's a couple of potholes on the track here and there if you get your car off the edge of the track that are dangerous. But that part of the circuit never really looked like it was an issue. Now that could be a contender for breaking. Could be a story for the weekend. As you can see now, Stu Jones getting into it. The final outer zones. Takes it across the line, and 2 consistent runs there from Stu Jones.
Yeah, lovely run for Stu. 75 on his first run. Has he topped that? Either way, he's going to be safe. He was in 9th position. It looks like he's coming in just under his first score. And his second run is just dropping in at 64, so a little bit lower, but he's still safe in 9th.
Yeah, he's in the top 10 at the moment. We move it along to Neregis. So Neregis is on the line, part of that lunatic school. Neregis is the floor layer from London, 2JZ R33 Nissan Skyline, 500 horsepower, representing Powerful Force Limited, Pulse Motorsport, SJ Derma Flooring Limited, and Daily Cars. As Neregis fires in, oh wow, takes out that clean point with the spoiler on the back of that car. This is looking good, big amount of smoke and angle from Neregis. And you can hear him really working that car, absolutely flying right now is Neregis. As he gets into Luna, look at that. From Neregis on the edge of the circuit, screaming. As you one more big clutch kick, and Neregis puts foot to floor. Oh,
no.
Wow!
And he's.
And do you know what? That's either a transmission or drive shaft brake. Do you know what? That was a contender.
That was amazing run, absolutely amazing run. There's got to be a mechanical failure
that's transmission driveline failure. That is 100% for Neregis. We make it as official a 0. He's still safe in 7th position.
Which is the main thing, but it's a shame he couldn't finish that run, unfortunately.
It certainly is. Yeah, we move it along now to Davidas Petruskas in this crazy E46 BMW 2.8 turbo under the bonnet. He says a bit of a hybrid, bit of a crazy mad scientist mix up, but it works, and boy does it work right now as the red cow tyres BMW comes flying through. And look at the smoke already as Davidas really driving this car hard and to the limit, flies through the middle of the circuit, carrying a lot of speed. He's not even backing down right now as Davidas transitions into this big final outer pole as he puts the foot down and starts to smoke the crowd out and brings it across the line. Davidas Pestrukas.
I love the insanity that he brings when he does a run. I think, did I see that he kind of missed clip 1 there? He wasn't really.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's a bit late. Yeah, it was a little bit, but the rest of the run looked really strong.
Yeah, look at that score, just slightly down on his first qualifying run, a 75 on his first. And he stays where he is in 10th place for 69. So Davidas looking good for competition later on. Moving on, Matt Fountain now sits on the start line. 3D printing service engineer for Hire Wycombe. 500 horsepower, 1JZ under the bonnet. Sorry about that, Wasp. Trying to invade.
I was almost going to like swat it, but I thought I might end up hitting you in the face. Yeah.
A Wasp trying to invade my personal space in the tower, and a disappointed sigh from the judges there when Matt Fountain initiated. Did you hear that?
Yes,
I
could tell.
Yeah, you know what? And Matt Fountain has moments of brilliance. Brilliantness,
go with it. I like it.
No, I don't like it. It doesn't flow. And yeah, unfortunately that wasn't it for Fountain. Big mistake on that initiation. Nevertheless, 2 runs in the bag, and do you know what? 53 on his first qualifying run. I'm going to say
in a bit of a dangerous zone.
I think he's in a dangerous zone here. Let's see where he is when his score drops in. Yeah, look, can he better himself and get in the show? He's not going to, Sarah. He's out of qualifying.
Such a shame.
And we lose Matt Fountain in qualifying. Wow.
Another guy with a lot of potential.
Yeah, and look, I'm very good.
And he's, I mean, yeah, look at NEC. I mean, he's
flying.
Storming.
And now look, out of qualifying. Here we go. Up next, Luke Barker comes off the line. This man said, I need to make it happen in the UK. He comes in hot. Very, very hot. There's Luke Barker as he puts foot to the floor now. 71 on his first qualifying run. He said, I need to overcome my nemesis. The UK has just been my kryptonite. I cannot defend it, cannot beat it. Finished second in the Drift Games National Championship just the other weekend. He come back home and he said, I need to get myself in the fight in the UK. As the Tarmac Sports driver puts the hammer down and Barker takes it across the line fast. That is very, very fast run.
He's a very committed driver. He does use his speed very well, I've noticed.
Yes.
He kind of, like you say, he came in hot, and he always does.
Really, he always does.
Every corner he comes in hot.
Well, he sits in 12th place at the moment with a 71. Can he better that score? Doesn't look like he's going to. Judges marking him down.
However,
And there we go.
Keeping himself in
66, stays where he is.
Keeping himself in 12th.
And moving along to this man, Carl Ferrara. Carl, you went out in yesterday,
My buddy from
53.
yesterday.
So again, another driver. He's out of the show, Sarah. The local guy. Look, he needs to make it happen right now.
He certainly does. He needs to pull something really strong out the bag now.
Yeah, Ferrara. Yeah, and again, the judge is disappointed with initiation as Ferrara fires now into outside zone front. You can see him almost straight line it. You can see shallow up the angle massively. Ferrara got himself on the podium at Teesside. I wasn't there to witness it. And he got himself on the podium at Teesside and he said, this round, I'm coming. Oh no! And Ferrara puts it into a spin. And do you know what? That's it. I think that is it for Carl Ferrara, the local man. He put too much pressure on his own shoulders coming into this event, and I think he just took himself out of it. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. The local driver here at Three Sisters.
Yeah, just pushed it a little bit too much and just dropped the wheels off. Put himself.
Yeah,
into
look
a
at that.
spin.
Oh, he's in 32nd position.
Ooh, he's sitting
just
in 32nd.
about. So, I mean, I think he's in the show. I think he's in the show.
Wow.
He's in the show. He's in the show. Just about. Wow, how about that? But he's not looking strong. So we move it along. Ian Rutherford now sits on the line for 66. Everybody after Ferrara is in the show. I just took a quick glance. How lucky is that for Ferrara? Well,
That is so lucky.
that was very lucky. Right now, though, we do see Ian Rutherford making his way round. As I said, a 66 on his first qualifying run. The Tarmac Sports driver going to be looking to maybe move himself up a little bit if he can. But you know what? If you're looking confident in top 32 at the moment, as Ian Rutherford fires himself into that final two outside zones. And looking strong and confident right now is Ian Rutherford as he takes it across the line. I'm still blown away by Ferrara. I didn't even look at the rest of the drivers. I just assumed that he would be out, and very lucky. Very lucky for Ferrara.
I'm really pleased for him. I'm glad he's got another chance to.
But it means that he's going to have to battle first place qualifier, and that's not an easy task.
Certainly not.
Ian Rutherford sits in 15th place at the moment. Where will he be after his second qualifying score? Looks like a similar score dropping in for Rutherford at the moment.
Another consistent driver. But two judges disagree and are scoring him a little bit high. So he's got a 70. He's just bettered his first score and he's in 13th place.
And up next, Will Hanna. So Will Hanna up next, 61 in his first qualifying run, and a 0.3 is holding Ferrara in the game.
We just heard in our ears, 0.3 of a point.
0.3 of a point. That's how close it was for Ferrara being out of the show. There we go. Willie Hanna now in this brand new wrapped Nissan Skyline R33 RB25 under the bonnet, fires it through, but he's looking scrappy. This is not the usual Willie Hanna we're used to, and you can see him drop outside zone 4 there as he fires big in, and he's going to over rotate, just about holds onto it, uses every inch of lock he had available as Willie Hanna gets himself around the circuit.
Yeah, unfortunately, definitely a scrappy run for William Hanna, but I mean, what happened there? He just had a bit too much angle, or
I just think he's sitting too long, thinking about overthinking stuff, and I think he just messed with his head ever so slightly then. And Willie Hanna sitting 5th in the championship at the moment, at 55, he stays where he is in 25th position. So he's in the show, and we move it along. Paul Cunnington up next, fighting to be in that top 3 of the championship, but he needs to get a podium this weekend. A 69 in his first qualifying run. What has he got as Cunnington flicks that car? It's a nice initiation, but tentative. He knew the edge of that concrete was there.
He knows what's waiting.
He knew what could happen if he got a wheel over the edge of that concrete as he gets himself nice and deep into outside zone 3 now. Comes through the middle of the circuit. Good transition from Cunnington, like I say. Got himself on the podium here last year. Can he do it again? As Cunnington, nice and deep, but gets off throttle quite a bit there. As Cunnington, you can hear him working that car, just really having to put the effort in to get it round the circuit. And across the line goes Paul Cunnington for his second qualifying run. The top 4 in the championship, fighting for those positions. And he sits mid-pack at the moment, so he's got a tough battle on his hands. He's going to be with all the consistent drivers, so it's not going to be an easy ride to the final for him. As it looks like another score, the same for Cunnington coming in. And there we go, a 67, Sarah.
Yeah, very similar to his first score, putting him in 15th. So yeah, like you said, the consistent drivers are sometimes the ones to be a little bit more worried about. And Josh King, the man back with a bit of a vengeance.
Yeah, Josh King now currently sits way up the order in with a 92 on his first qualifying run, second place qualifier at the moment. Can King outdo Edwards' 94? He's going to have to really work hard, and you can hear him working that car really hard. You can hear him clutch kicking it, the way he's driving it. Adapted a really crazy driving style that for that moment in the circuit. It doesn't look as consistent and as flowing as his first qualifying run there, and I think the judges would have seen that.
Yeah, I think so. I understand what you're saying about that. Looked just a little more
Yeah, look at that.
untidy.
Scores reflecting that as well as they drop him.
Yeah, still not an unimpressive score by any means. 92 on his first run, 79, putting him in second at the moment.
So currently sitting second in the third in the championship, second in points. Martin Cowley now sits on the line with a 65. The pressure got to him. Like I said, this man is drained physically, emotionally. Well, brand new engine in the car overnight. What can he do? He needs to get way up the order if he's still going to fight for this championship. Big clutch kick initiation from Cowley as he comes firing in. His team locked and loaded. Nissan 200 XS14, JZ under the bonnet. He needs to make it put to work when as he dials. Big angle on that outside zone. Nice fast transition as he gets through that front clipping point and fires big, consistent smoke line there from Martin Cowley as he absolutely fulfills those outside zone and fills out Three Sisters race circuit with smoke and takes it across the line with the arm out the window. He's feeling good. He's feeling good.
He is feeling confident. I mean, anything's a bonus for him at this point. He didn't think he was going to get out at all today. That was a brilliant run. He's very, very proud. He's definitely bettered his first run.
He certainly has. Where does he find himself? Look at that 8th position for Martin Cowley with an 83. And well here deserved. We go. Your championship points leader and currently your first place qualifier. Louis Edwards comes off the line for his second qualifying run of the day. Well, can he beat it? He's going to try to. Kind of try and top his own score right now as a young man fires that car in. Look at that initiation. Incredible from Louis Edwards. As he finds that car on big angle, gets shallow though on outside zone 3, doesn't get as deep as what we see him last time, and Edwards knows the job is done. He just needs to put it round and get himself a second score on the ball. He comes almost backwards into that outside zone, puts the foot down now and starts to unleash all the power from that M3 power plant under the bonnet as Louis Edwards comes screaming around those final 2 outer zones and across the line, and there we go. Qualifying is done.
Already, I can't believe it's already done. That was brilliant. I mean, so much action. Louis Edwards, let's see what he's
got. Oh wow, look at this, and a big score. And a 95, he goes 1 point better than his first qualifying score. And Louis Edwards tops qualifying with a 95, and there we go. Well, there we go, Sarah. Qualifying list is in. Taking first place, Louis Edwards. Second, Josh King. Third, Stephen Fitzgerald. Can he get that car done? Fourth, Magic Bladewski. Fifth, Andy Frost. Sixth, Ignis Minelga. Seventh, Nerigis. Eighth, Cowley. Ninth, Hume. 10th, Stu Jones. 11th place, David Aspastrukas. 12th, Danny Maguire. 13th, Luke Walker. 14th, Ian Rutherford. 15th, Ash Jones. 16th, Paul Cunnington. 17th, Matt Roberts. 18th, Chris Parnham. 19th, Jamie Stevens. 20th, Dominic Gates. 21st, Rob Johnson. 22nd, Will Gibbs. 23rd, Dan Tyler. 24th, Lewis Baker. 25th, Willie Hanna. 26th, Lee Lawrence. 27th, Chrissy Nayland. 28th, Jamie Stanton. 29th, Owen Atkinson. 30th, Andy Sykes. 31st, Mike Lardner. 32nd, Carl Farrar. Just about. Sarah, there we go. I need a break to rest my voice because it's already getting a little bit hoarse.
Well, I'm not surprised. You get very excited, don't you, up in here? And I don't blame you one bit. It's absolutely fantastic to see the action from where we're sat. So that wraps up the qualifying. Join us at 14:45, 2:45 for the Pro Battles.
We are Funk Motorsport, your heat management specialists. Based in the UK, we strive for perfection, developing thermal products trusted by professional race teams and drivers worldwide. Performance, protection, reliability.
Tarmac Sports.
Don't have another mic, but the judges, they can go out live. Yeah. Yes. So they don't tell the judges not to press any buttons. They can just talk.